The origin of jealousy. In the quiet moments of twilight when the day's distractions fade and the mind opens to introspection, the feeling of jealousy emerges as both a timeless survival instinct and a learned emotion intricately woven into our very being. Its origins stretch back to the earliest days of human existence, when survival depended on the ability to secure resources, protect bonds, and ensure that nothing precious was taken away. Early humans, living in close-knit groups, faced constant challenges where every resource was limited and every relationship vital. In such a context, jealousy functioned as an internal alert system, a primal signal that something of great value was in danger of being lost. This ancient emotion was not a modern anomaly, but rather an evolutionary tool, a silent guardian that motivated our ancestors to remain vigilant and to protect the ties that bound their communities. Even as we sit in the stillness of the evening, the roots of jealousy remind us of the raw, unfiltered instincts of our early forebears, a legacy that has been carried through millennia and subtly influences how we interact with the world today. As our thoughts drift like soft echoes through time, we begin to understand that jealousy is not merely a crude instinct, but a nuanced emotion with dual origins. On one level, it is deeply embedded in our biology, a natural response designed to signal the threat of loss, urging us to defend our relationships, our possessions, and our very identity. In the harsh realities of ancient life, such an instinct was invaluable. It spurred individuals to be cautious and proactive, ensuring the continuity of familial bonds and communal trust. Yet, in parallel with these innate impulses, jealousy has also been shaped by the experiences and environments in which we grow up. From the earliest moments of life, we are immersed in a world of comparisons and expectations, where the subtle cues from our family, friends, and society at large begin to sculpt our emotional landscapes. Through the gentle but persistent influence of cultural norms and personal experiences, the raw instinct of jealousy becomes interlaced with learned behaviors, creating a complex tapestry that is as much about social conditioning as it is about survival. In the soft embrace of the night, we can reflect on how these dual forces, instinct and learning, combine to form the jealousy we feel today. It is as if the emotion itself is a mirror, reflecting back to us the stories of our past, the struggles of our ancestors who had to guard every morsel of sustenance, the pain of witnessing someone else claim what was once theirs, and the bittersweet realization that every cherished relationship is vulnerable to loss. The natural urge to protect and the learned habit of comparison merge to create a feeling that is both protective and, at times, destructive. When we experience jealousy, we are tapping into a primal energy that once kept entire tribes safe from the ravages of scarcity and betrayal. Simultaneously, we are engaging with a deeply personal emotion that has been refined by our individual histories, our interactions with loved ones, and the subtle lessons of our cultural upbringing. As you settle into the calm of the evening, it becomes clear that jealousy is not an isolated emotion, but part of the larger spectrum of human experience. It teaches us that while some aspects of our emotional lives are inherited, others are molded by the fabric of our relationships and the values we internalize over time. The dual nature of jealousy means that it can serve both as a warning signal and as a source of personal insight. When jealousy arises, it is not simply an impulse to protect or a seed of insecurity. It is also an invitation to examine our inner selves, to understand the depths of our desires and fears. This introspection can lead to a more profound awareness of what truly matters in our lives, whether it is the security of a loving relationship, the fulfillment found in personal achievements, or the sense of belonging that comes from being part of a community. In this reflective state, we can see that jealousy is as old as humanity itself, its origins etched into the collective memory of our species. The instinctual roots of jealousy provided our ancestors with the drive to safeguard their lives against the unpredictability of nature, ensuring that the bonds within a group remained strong and resilient. In today's world, while the immediate threats to survival may have transformed, the echoes of those ancient instincts still reverberate within us. They manifest in subtle ways, influencing how we perceive our relationships and how we react to the successes and fortunes of others. Yet, unlike in the past, we have the opportunity to understand and manage these emotions with the wisdom of modern insight. By recognizing that jealousy arises from both natural instincts and learned behaviors, we can approach it with compassion and mindfulness, using it as a stepping stone toward deeper self-awareness rather than a source of ongoing pain. As the night deepens and you find yourself enveloped by a sense of calm, consider that every surge of jealousy is a gentle reminder of the complex interplay between nature and nurture. The emotion, born from the primal need to protect, has evolved through the ages to become a multifaceted signal that touches every aspect of our lives. In its purest form, jealousy is a call to cherish what is precious, to guard against the potential loss of what sustains us, and to honor the intricate web of connections that define our human experience. Yet, it also challenges us to confront our own vulnerabilities, to ask ourselves if our fears are remnants of ancient survival strategies or if they have been compounded by the subtle pressures of modern life. In doing so, jealousy becomes not a curse, but a catalyst for personal growth and transformation. It beckons us to cultivate a sense of inner security that transcends the external validations of our relationships and achievements. In the stillness of the night, let the origin of jealousy serve as a gentle guide toward understanding your own inner landscape. It invites you to explore the balance between protecting what you value and embracing the fluid, ever-changing nature of emotional life. By acknowledging both the instinctual and learned dimensions of jealousy, you open a pathway to healing, a pathway that leads to a richer, more compassionate relationship with yourself and those around you. As you breathe in the quiet serenity of this moment, allow yourself to see that the emotion is not a fixed entity but a dynamic process, one that has evolved with you and that continues to evolve as you grow. In the soft murmur of your thoughts, the ancient instincts of your ancestors blend with your personal experiences, creating a tapestry of emotion that is uniquely yours. Let this understanding bring you comfort as you recognize that the same force that once ensured survival now holds the potential to nurture a more profound sense of self-awareness and inner peace. Embrace the notion that every wave of jealousy is an opportunity to reaffirm the value of what you hold dear, to reconnect with the resilient spirit that has carried you through countless challenges, and to gently remind you that in every emotion there lies the seed of growth and the promise of transformation. Envy vs. jealousy. What's the difference? In the quiet moments when the mind drifts into a state of gentle reflection, it is intriguing to explore the subtle yet profound differences between envy and jealousy, two emotions that are often mistaken for one another but in fact arise from distinct psychological roots and reveal different aspects of our inner lives. Imagine lying in bed with the soft murmur of your thoughts as you ponder the nature of these emotions. Envy is the yearning for something that another person possesses, an aspiration that touches the core of what we desire but feel is missing. In our own lives, while jealousy is the fearful anticipation of losing something already cherished, a protective response that arises from the insecurity of holding on to what is dear. Envy, in its essence, is about the longing for external attributes or possessions, a recognition that someone else has qualities, achievements, or relationships that you wish to experience yourself. It is an outward gaze that compares and contrasts, stirring a quiet discontent as you observe what appears to be the ideal in another person. This form of emotion is rooted in the perception of scarcity and the belief that there is not enough abundance for everyone. It can gently erode self-esteem when one continually measures oneself against the standards set by the lives of others. In contrast, jealousy is more intimately tied to the bonds of connection that already exist in your life, emerging as a natural response when you sense that these bonds may be threatened or diminished. It is an inward-looking emotion, often laced with fear and vulnerability, where the heart clings to a person or a relationship with an intensity that is both protective and, at times, suffocating. Jealousy arises not from the desire to have what another possesses, but from the anxiety that what you already have is being undermined by external forces. As you settle deeper into the calm of the night, you might find that understanding these emotions in their distinct forms offers a pathway to greater self-awareness. Envy, for example, can serve as a quiet signal that there are aspects of life you wish to cultivate within yourself, prompting you to reflect on your goals, values, and the qualities you aspire to develop. It is an invitation to transform longing into motivation, to bridge the gap between what is and what might be. When you feel envy, it can be a gentle reminder to explore your own potential, to recognize that the qualities you admire in others can be nurtured within you through patience, self-compassion, and deliberate effort. On the other hand, jealousy acts as a tender yet sometimes unsettling alarm bell, alerting you to the vulnerability of relationships that are important to you. It is the emotion that surfaces when there is a perceived threat to the bond you share with a loved one, a whisper of insecurity that reminds you that even the strongest connections can be fragile if not nurtured with care. Jealousy often finds its roots in past experiences of loss or betrayal, and it carries with it the weight of memories that may have shaped your understanding of trust and intimacy. In those moments of jealousy, it can be helpful to pause and gently ask yourself what underlying fears are being triggered and whether these fears are a reflection of past wounds or a mirror of current uncertainties. By exploring the source of these feelings, you create a space for healing and for reaffirming the value of open communication and self-trust. While envy and jealousy operate in different emotional realms, one reaching outward towards what is desired and the other clinging inward to what is at risk, they are both essential elements of the human experience. They reveal the inherent tension between aspiration and security, between the drive to grow and the instinct to protect. As you lie there in the stillness, consider how these emotions, though often accompanied by discomfort, also carry the seeds of transformation. Envy, when acknowledged with kindness, can motivate you to set meaningful goals and to appreciate the unique journey that is your own. It can be a catalyst for self-improvement, urging you to develop the talents and qualities that you admire in others, not out of resentment, but out of a genuine desire to enhance your own life. Jealousy, though it may bring a sense of unease, can similarly guide you towards a deeper understanding of your relationships and your emotional boundaries. It invites you to nurture trust, to communicate openly with those you love, and to recognize that the fear of loss often stems from our own internal insecurities. In this way, both emotions serve as mirrors reflecting parts of our inner selves that may need attention, healing, and growth. The beauty of this understanding lies in its dual nature, recognizing that envy and jealousy are not inherently negative, but rather, they are signals from within, guiding you towards a more authentic and balanced way of living. In the quiet hours of the night, as your thoughts merge with the gentle rhythm of your breath, you can choose to see these emotions not as obstacles, but as stepping stones on the path to self-discovery and emotional maturity. By embracing the lessons embedded in the subtle differences between envy and jealousy, you empower yourself to cultivate a more compassionate relationship with both yourself and others. In this reflective state, the yearning for what others have can be transformed into an appreciation for your own unique gifts, and the fear of losing what is already yours can be softened by the understanding that true connection is built on trust, vulnerability, and the shared journey of growth. As you drift further into a state of serene contemplation, let the nuances of envy and jealousy gently dissolve into a broader awareness of your inner landscape, a landscape where every emotion, no matter how challenging, contributes to the rich tapestry of your life. The recognition that these feelings come from different psychological roots allows you to approach them with a sense of curiosity rather than judgment, inviting you to explore their origins, understand their messages, and ultimately to integrate their lessons into a more resilient and balanced sense of self. In this gentle exploration, you may come to see that while envy reaches out to illuminate what is absent, and jealousy clings to protect what is present, both are integral threads in the fabric of your emotional being. And as you prepare for a night of restful sleep. Let this understanding be a soothing balm, reassuring you that each emotion has its place in your journey, and that by embracing these parts of yourself, you pave the way for a deeper, more fulfilling connection with the world around you. The science of envy. In the stillness of a quiet evening, as the mind unwinds and drifts into a state of reflective calm, it is fascinating to explore how the intricate pathways of the brain respond to the feeling of envy. Neuroscientific studies have revealed that envy is not merely an abstract emotion, but a measurable phenomenon that activates specific regions in our brain, influencing our behavior in ways both subtle and profound. When we experience envy, our brain responds as though it were facing a threat not to our physical survival, but to our self-concept and emotional equilibrium. Research using advanced imaging techniques such as functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, has shown that the experience of envy lights up areas of the brain involved in social cognition, emotional regulation, and reward processing. This response suggests that envy is deeply rooted in the same neural circuitry that governs how we understand ourselves in relation to others. In those moments of quiet reflection, the sensation of envy emerges as a signal from deep within our neural networks, alerting us to a discrepancy between what we desire and what we possess. This realization, often experienced as a mixture of longing and self-criticism, can provoke a cascade of emotional reactions that affect our behavior in both conscious and unconscious ways. Imagine lying in the soft glow of a bedside lamp where every thought seems amplified by the gentle rhythm of your breathing. In that vulnerable state, envy may arise as you compare your inner world to the perceived perfection of another's life. The brain, ever vigilant in protecting its sense of self, responds by triggering the limbic system, a network that plays a key role in processing emotions such as fear, anger, and sadness. This activation can lead to physiological responses that you might not even be aware of. A quickening heartbeat, a surge of stress hormones like cortisol, and even subtle changes in facial expressions. These bodily reactions are not arbitrary. They are the brain's way of preparing you to deal with the perceived threat to your emotional well-being. It is as if, on a neurological level, envy sets off an alarm, a gentle yet persistent warning that prompts you to reassess your social standing and personal value. Such responses, though sometimes uncomfortable, are part of a natural process designed to motivate self-improvement and social adaptation. Yet, the science of envy also tells us that its effects are not entirely negative. The activation of reward-related regions in the brain, such as the ventral striatum, indicates that envy can also spur us towards action. When you notice someone possessing an attribute or achievement you admire, the same neural circuits that respond to the promise of a reward light up, urging you to consider the steps you might take to cultivate similar qualities in your own life. This dual response, where envy acts as both a warning and an inspiration, demonstrates the complex interplay between our emotional and motivational systems. In essence, envy is a reminder that our brains are wired to seek improvement, to strive for a better version of ourselves, even if that pursuit is sometimes clouded by self-doubt or insecurity. It invites you to reflect on your own goals and values, nudging you gently towards growth and self-development. In the quiet moments before sleep, when distractions fade away and the mind is free to wander, you might notice how envy subtly shapes your behavior throughout the day. It can drive you to work harder, to refine your skills, or to seek out opportunities that align more closely with your aspirations. At the same time, if left unchecked, envy can also lead to feelings of resentment and isolation, causing you to withdraw from social connections that once brought you joy. The science behind this delicate balance lies in the brain's ability to regulate emotions. Neuroplasticity, the brain's capacity to adapt and reorganize itself, is at play when you consciously work to transform envy into a positive force. By practicing mindfulness and self-compassion, you can recalibrate those neural pathways, shifting the focus from a sense of inadequacy to a proactive determination to grow. Over time, this can lead to a healthier, more balanced emotional state, where the sting of envy is replaced by a sense of empowerment and a renewed commitment to personal development. Furthermore, understanding the science behind envy provides a valuable perspective on the social aspects of our lives. Our brains are inherently social organs, designed to interpret and respond to the dynamics of human interaction. Envy, as a social emotion, reflects the intricate ways in which our brains compare our own experiences with those of others. It is a reminder that our sense of self is deeply intertwined with the people around us, and that the way we perceive our social environment can have a profound impact on our overall well-being. The scientific findings on envy suggest that by fostering environments that emphasize collaboration over competition, we can mitigate the negative aspects of envy and enhance feelings of collective support and belonging. In a world where social media and constant connectivity often amplify comparisons, being aware of these underlying neural mechanisms can help you cultivate a more compassionate and understanding approach to both yourself and others. As you lie in the stillness of the night, allow the gentle science of envy to remind you that every emotion has a purpose and a place in your journey. The brain's response to envy is not a flaw, but a feature, an intricate design meant to alert you to what is truly important, to motivate you to strive for personal excellence, and to navigate the complex landscape of human relationships. By understanding these scientific insights, you can embrace envy as a natural, if challenging, part of the human experience. Instead of letting it overwhelm you, you have the power to transform its energy into a catalyst for self-reflection, growth, and ultimately, a deeper sense of connection with the world around you. Let this knowledge settle into your consciousness as a quiet reminder that within the intricate wiring of your brain lies the capacity to change, to adapt, and to thrive in the face of every emotion, even one as complex as envy. Spite, the hidden emotion. In the quiet embrace of a late evening, when thoughts wander freely through memories and unspoken emotions, the feeling of spite emerges as a subtle yet potent force that often goes unnoticed, quietly influencing our decisions and shaping the contours of our inner world. Spite, an emotion that lies hidden beneath layers of unacknowledged hurt and unresolved grievances, has the uncanny ability to color our perceptions and steer our actions in unexpected ways. It is an undercurrent in the vast ocean of our feelings, one that can surge unexpectedly, carrying with it a sense of defiance and the desire to retaliate, even when such responses may ultimately lead to regret. As the night deepens and you lie in the gentle silence of your thoughts, you may begin to sense that spite is not merely an impulse of anger or a fleeting desire for revenge, but rather a complex emotion rooted in past experiences of pain and betrayal, waiting for the right moment to assert its presence. It is this hidden emotion that sometimes whispers in the quiet hours, urging you to act on a feeling that might later leave you with a lingering sense of remorse. In its raw form, spite can be seen as a misguided attempt to reclaim power or dignity in situations where you have felt diminished or overlooked. However, the actions born of spite are often like stepping into a mirage. They offer a brief illusion of control or satisfaction, only to be replaced later by the heavy weight of regret. This emotion can subtly infiltrate your decisions, influencing choices that might seem rational on the surface, yet are driven by the desire to prove a point or to inflict a small measure of pain on someone who, in your eyes, has wronged you. As you allow your mind to drift in the gentle quiet of the night, consider how spite is intricately woven into the fabric of human experience, a reminder that even the most carefully constructed personas can harbor hidden corners where unresolved bitterness resides. When you act out of spite, there is often a momentary rush of validation, a fleeting sense of triumph that quickly dissipates as the true cost of those actions becomes clear. This brief satisfaction is then replaced by a reflective silence, where the consequences of decisions made in the heat of such emotions become painfully apparent. The very nature of spite is paradoxical. While it may initially appear as an assertion of strength, it can also lead to a spiral of self-sabotage that undermines the very relationships and opportunities you cherish. In this way, spite can transform from a temporary spark into a persistent ember that stokes further negative reactions, drawing you into a cycle where each act of retaliation builds upon the last until the burden of regret becomes almost unbearable. Moreover, the hidden quality of spite lies in its ability to remain dormant, influencing your perceptions subtly over time, often without your conscious awareness. It can manifest in decisions that, on the surface, appear logical or even justified, yet carry an underlying motive that is steeped in past hurt. This insidious presence makes it challenging to confront, as it is often masked by other, more socially acceptable emotions like frustration or disappointment. In the quiet moments before sleep, as you gently sift through your thoughts and emotions, you may come to recognize that the energy behind spite is not inherently destructive. Rather, it is a signal, a cry for healing from wounds that have not fully mended. It is an invitation to look deeper into the circumstances that have left you feeling vulnerable or slighted, and to explore ways in which you can address these feelings with compassion and understanding, both for yourself and for those involved. The journey of recognizing and understanding spite is one of self-discovery, where you learn that every negative impulse holds within it the potential for transformation. Instead of allowing spite to dictate your actions, you might choose to harness that energy as a catalyst for personal growth, redirecting its force toward constructive change and the rebuilding of trust in your relationships. In doing so, you gradually free yourself from the cycle of revenge and regret, replacing the sharp sting of retaliation with the soft glow of forgiveness and inner peace. As you sit quietly, wrapped in the stillness of the night, allow yourself to be gently guided by the realization that spite, like all emotions, is a part of the human experience, a complex interplay of desire, hurt, and the need for validation. Its influence on your decisions may be subtle, but by bringing it into the light of conscious awareness, you can begin to untangle its hold on you. Each thoughtful breath becomes an opportunity to release the tight grip of past grievances, making space for healing and growth. In this reflective state, you may find that the very impulse of spite that once threatened to dictate your actions can be transformed into a powerful lesson in self-awareness and emotional resilience. Over time, by choosing to approach the hidden emotion of spite with a spirit of curiosity rather than judgment, you create a sanctuary within where forgiveness and self-compassion can flourish. In the soft, undemanding quiet of your heart, spite slowly loses its power to command your decisions, replaced instead by a mindful approach that honors your true worth and the genuine connections you share with others. Let this understanding be a quiet reminder that even the most hidden and seemingly destructive emotions carry within them the seeds of potential growth, waiting for the moment when you choose to nurture them with kindness and wisdom. The impact of social media on jealousy. In the quiet hours of reflection, as the soft glow of screens fills our evenings, social media emerges as a powerful mirror reflecting not only the curated highlights of others' lives, but also the hidden depths of our own insecurities and desires. As you settle into a peaceful space, consider how these online platforms, with their endless stream of images, status updates, and moments of perfection, have reshaped the way we see ourselves and our place in the world. Social media encourages constant comparison, each scroll revealing lives that seem more vibrant, successful, and fulfilling than our own. This ongoing exposure to the achievements, travels, and relationships of others can gently erode our self-esteem, planting seeds of doubt that question whether we measure up in our own lives. In this digital age, the allure of connectivity is intertwined with an undercurrent of competition, where every like and share becomes a benchmark for worth. As you lie quietly, the soft hum of notifications reminds you that the online world is both a source of connection and a catalyst for envy, triggering emotional reactions that ripple through your thoughts and feelings. Imagine the subtle shift that occurs when you catch yourself comparing your everyday moments to the meticulously edited snapshots posted online. There is a delicate interplay between admiration and longing, where the desire to emulate another's success can quickly spiral into feelings of inadequacy. This reflective state invites you to ponder how these constant comparisons affect your inner dialogue, often whispering that you are not enough, that your life falls short of the ideal depicted on your screen. It is as if the digital world casts a spell, making imperfections seem magnified while glossing over the nuanced realities of everyday existence. The effect on self-esteem is gradual yet profound, slowly chipping away at your sense of worth as you measure your reality against a gallery of highlights. Yet, amid this gentle turmoil, there lies an opportunity for profound self-awareness. Social media, for all its allure, is a reminder that the human experience is richly varied, and the images that flash across our screens are but fragments of a larger, more complex narrative. In the soft light of evening, you might recognize that the curated content on social media platforms is designed to capture attention and evoke admiration, but it often leaves little room for vulnerability or authenticity. This creates a subtle pressure to conform to an idealized version of success, beauty, or happiness, a standard that is not only unrealistic but also deeply personal. The pressure to live up to these expectations can result in a quiet, internal struggle where the desire to be seen and validated is met with the harsh reality of self-doubt. The constant barrage of comparisons can lead to a cycle of yearning and disappointment, where every scroll is a reminder that there is always something more, something better just beyond reach. As you drift into a state of gentle introspection, consider how this cycle might impact your everyday choices, influencing your actions and decisions in ways that are both conscious and subconscious. It is in this reflective space that you may begin to understand that the digital world, while vast and inviting, also carries with it the power to shape your emotional landscape in unexpected ways. The impact of social media on jealousy is not merely a reflection of external comparisons, it is also a window into our internal world. The desire to be recognized, to have our own lives validated, is a fundamental human need. Yet when that need is met with a barrage of images showcasing the best parts of other people's lives, it can create a dissonance within. You may find yourself questioning whether your own moments, quiet and unfiltered, hold the same value. This realization can be both disheartening and transformative, a call to seek balance and reclaim the authenticity that lies beneath the surface. In the stillness of your thoughts, you might begin to see that while social media offers a lens into a world of endless possibilities, it also distorts the reality of human experience. The carefully crafted narratives you encounter are only a part of the whole story, and recognizing this truth can be the first step towards freeing yourself from the cycle of comparison. As you continue to reflect, it becomes apparent that the effects of social media on self-esteem are as much about perception as they are about reality. The glossy images and success stories often mask the everyday struggles and moments of vulnerability that are an inherent part of life. This awareness, tender and slowly unfolding, allows you to approach your own self-worth with a sense of compassion. Instead of measuring your value by the standards set by others, you are invited to celebrate the unique tapestry of your own experiences. Each thread, no matter how ordinary, contributes to the beauty of your personal narrative. In this gentle realization, there is a quiet power to reclaim your space, to redefine success and happiness on your own terms. The digital landscape, with all its vibrant imagery, need not dictate how you feel about yourself, for true self-esteem is rooted in the richness of lived experience, not in the fleeting moments captured online. In the calm of the night, as you let go of the day's worries and embrace a state of mindful serenity, allow yourself to see social media for what it truly is: a tool, a platform for connection, but not a measure of your intrinsic value. The comparisons it incites may trigger fleeting moments of envy and self-doubt, yet these are only passing clouds in the vast sky of your inner being. With gentle awareness, you can acknowledge these feelings without letting them define you, understanding that the true measure of self-worth comes from within. Let this awareness be a soothing balm, guiding you toward a more compassionate and balanced perspective, a perspective that honors your unique journey and the quiet strength that lies at the heart of your being. In the soft, reflective moments, Before sleep, you may find that by embracing your own truth and nurturing the authentic aspects of your life, you can gently dissolve the impact of comparison and step into a space of inner peace and genuine self-acceptance. The motivational side of envy. In the quiet moments before sleep, when the mind wanders softly through the corridors of introspection, there is a gentle truth that emerges about envy, a truth that reveals its potential to ignite a spark of self-improvement, rather than simply cast a shadow over our spirits. Envy, often regarded as a negative emotion that undermines self-worth, can, in its subtler forms, serve as a catalyst for personal growth and transformation. It is a feeling that, when embraced with mindfulness and compassion, gently nudges us to reflect on what we truly desire in life, urging us to explore the depths of our capabilities and the uncharted territories of our potential. As you lie comfortably in the stillness of the night, you might notice that the spark of envy does not necessarily have to burn destructively. Instead, it can be harnessed as a motivating force that encourages you to set meaningful goals and strive for the qualities you admire in others. In the soft light of your reflections, envy becomes less a mirror of inadequacy and more a window into the possibilities that lie ahead, a reminder that every admired trait or achievement witnessed in another is a beacon guiding you toward your own journey of self-improvement. In this gentle exploration, envy transforms into a whisper of ambition, inviting you to ask not why you are lacking, but rather how you can nurture the seeds of potential that reside within. It prompts a shift in perspective, where the desire to attain what others have evolves into a personal challenge to enhance your own life. This internal dialogue, sparked by the subtle stirrings of envy, gently encourages you to identify your strengths and to work on areas where growth is needed. Instead of succumbing to feelings of despair or bitterness, you find a quiet resilience, a determination to overcome the obstacles that seem insurmountable at first glance. As you navigate through this introspective landscape, the emotion of envy, once a source of disquiet, gradually reveals itself as a powerful motivator that propels you toward self-discovery and improvement. It is in these delicate moments of self-reflection that you may come to understand that the very energy, once misinterpreted as a source of negativity, can be redirected into cultivating habits, skills, and perspectives that enrich your life. The motivational side of envy lies in its capacity to awaken a deeper awareness of what truly matters to you. It is not about mimicking the lives of others or falling into the trap of constant comparison, but rather about discerning the qualities and achievements that resonate with your inner values. As you let your thoughts drift like gentle waves in the quiet sea of the night, you recognize that envy, when channeled constructively, can inspire you to pursue excellence in your own unique way. This process begins with a mindful acceptance of your emotions, acknowledging that it is natural to feel a pang of longing when confronted with the success or beauty in another's life. With a compassionate heart, you learn to transform that initial impulse into a guiding light, a call to action that encourages you to set personal aspirations and to take incremental steps toward realizing them. In this way, the spark of envy becomes a warm reminder of the potential that lies dormant within, waiting to be awakened through deliberate effort and persistent dedication. In the soft embrace of nighttime, as you reflect on the interplay between desire and achievement, you may find that the energy of envy can be a gentle teacher. It reveals the subtle differences between passive longing and active striving, urging you to move beyond mere admiration into a space where your actions align with your deepest dreams. The sensation of envy, when acknowledged without judgment, opens the door to a journey of self-improvement that is both empowering and deeply personal. Every moment of envy can become a stepping stone, a quiet invitation to redefine your boundaries and to set intentions that resonate with your authentic self. As you contemplate the accomplishments you admire in others, you also begin to see the paths available to you, paths that are illuminated by your unique talents and aspirations. This inner recognition fosters a sense of hope and possibility, allowing you to embrace the challenges of growth with a calm and resolute heart. In essence, the motivational side of envy invites you to reframe your narrative and view every perceived shortfall as an opportunity for enrichment rather than as a verdict on your worth. It is a call to harness the energy of longing and redirect it towards cultivating the skills, habits, and attitudes that will ultimately shape a life of fulfillment and purpose. With each reflective breath, you become more attuned to the subtle messages hidden within your emotions, realizing that the desire to improve is a natural part of the human experience. Rather than being weighed down by feelings of inadequacy, you learn to see envy as a signpost pointing the way to the growth that lies just beyond the horizon. In the quiet solitude of your thoughts, the journey of self-improvement unfolds as a gentle process of discovery, a path where every small victory and every lesson learned adds up to a richer, more resilient sense of self. As the night deepens, and the soft cadence of your heartbeat merges with the rhythm of your thoughts, you come to understand that envy is not a force that diminishes your spirit, but one that can kindle a quiet revolution within. It is a reminder that the pursuit of self-betterment is an ever-evolving journey, one that is nourished by the willingness to learn from both the light and shadow of your experiences. Embracing this nuanced perspective allows you to transform envy from a potentially debilitating emotion into a wellspring of motivation, a gentle catalyst for the changes you wish to see in your life. In this reflective state, as you drift closer to a peaceful slumber, you allow the motivational energy of envy to settle softly within your heart, inspiring you to rise each day with renewed purpose and a steadfast commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. When jealousy creates distance, in the quiet aftermath of a heated emotion, when jealousy stealthily infiltrates the space between friends and loved ones, the warmth of connection can begin to cool, leaving behind a lingering chill that distances hearts and minds. Imagine the subtle, almost imperceptible moment when a look or a word carries a hidden tinge of insecurity, a moment that slowly erects barriers where once there was openness and trust. Jealousy, when left unchecked, acts like an invisible force, gently pushing apart the threads that tie us together. It transforms conversations into cautious exchanges and laughter into guarded smiles, as each individual begins to question the sincerity of the bond they once cherished. In those reflective moments before sleep, you might recall how the simple act of comparing oneself to another can alter the landscape of a relationship, turning what was once a shared space of comfort into a territory marked by suspicion and self-doubt. The emotion of jealousy does not announce its presence loudly. Rather, it seeps in quietly, like the slow drip of water that erodes stone over time, until it creates gaps too wide to bridge with mere words. It is in these gaps that distance is born, a distance that can separate even the closest of friends, and make personal connections feel fragile and transient. As you lie in the gentle embrace of the night, you might reflect on times when jealousy transformed interactions into a delicate dance of fear and defensiveness. The warmth of intimacy fades when each party begins to guard their vulnerabilities, hesitant to reveal the parts of themselves that might be seen as lacking or unworthy. Over time, the shared space becomes a place of tension rather than trust, where every smile is measured and every silence weighed. This shift often begins with small, almost unnoticeable moments, a compliment misinterpreted, an achievement subtly downplayed, or even the quiet acknowledgement that someone else's success casts a shadow on your own sense of worth. In the wake of such moments, the protective walls of jealousy rise, isolating individuals within their own spiraling thoughts. These walls, built brick by brick through repeated experiences of perceived betrayal or inadequacy, eventually create an environment where genuine connection becomes elusive. The person who once felt secure in their friendships may find themselves retreating into solitude, unable to reach out for fear that their vulnerability will be met with judgment or rejection. In this state, the distance created by jealousy is not just emotional but also physical, as opportunities for shared joy and support slip away like the last light of dusk. Reflecting on these experiences, one might come to see that jealousy, in its most potent form, is a quiet thief that steals away the closeness and trust that are the foundations of meaningful relationships. It disrupts the natural flow of empathy and mutual understanding, replacing it with an unspoken competition where every act of kindness is tainted by an undercurrent of envy. The very connections that once nurtured our spirits begin to feel like battlegrounds, where worth is constantly measured against an ever-elusive standard. Yet, in this reflective stillness, there is also a gentle reminder that the distance created by jealousy is not irreversible. With mindful awareness and a willingness to confront these deep-seated fears, the barriers can slowly be dismantled. It begins with acknowledging the pain that jealousy inflicts, not only on others, but also on oneself, and understanding that the root of this emotion often lies in a deep-seated sense of unworthiness or fear of loss. By opening up about these vulnerabilities, whether in quiet self-reflection or in honest conversations with those we trust, we can begin to rebuild the bridges that jealousy has eroded. In these tender moments of reconnection, the truth emerges that the strength of personal connections does not depend on perfection, but on the shared journey through both light and shadow. The process of healing, though gradual, can restore the warmth that jealousy once chilled, transforming isolation into intimacy and distrust into understanding. In the stillness of the night, as you allow your thoughts to wander over the memories of both pain and connection, you come to see that the distance created by jealousy is a call to return to authenticity, a call to embrace vulnerability as the true foundation of any deep, lasting relationship. It is a reminder that every act of comparison and every guarded moment has the potential to be replaced with empathy and openness. And so, even as the quiet echoes of jealousy linger, they also offer an invitation to let go of the barriers and to step back into the shared space of genuine connection, where each person is valued not for their achievements or possessions, but for the unique light they bring into the lives of others. The biology behind jealousy. In the gentle stillness of the evening, as you ease into a state of quiet contemplation, there is a profound, almost poetic interplay taking place deep within your brain, a delicate dance of chemicals and neural signals that give rise to the emotion of jealousy. This emotion, often perceived as abstract or elusive, is in fact anchored in a very tangible biological process, where a symphony of hormones and neurotransmitters interacts to shape the way you experience feelings of longing, insecurity, and the fear of loss. Imagine for a moment that your brain is a complex orchestra, each section playing its part to create the full spectrum of human emotion. When jealousy stirs, it is as though a particular set of instruments, the amygdala, the prefrontal cortex, and the ventral striatum, begin to play a distinctive tune. The amygdala, known as the brain's emotional center, lights up with rapid signals that alert you to perceived threats, while the prefrontal cortex works quietly in the background, attempting to moderate these signals with reason and perspective. In this interplay, the brain releases chemicals like cortisol, which heightens awareness and readies the body to respond to what it perceives as a challenge to your emotional security. At the same time, dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with reward and motivation, may also surge, creating a paradox where the very sensation of jealousy carries both a sting and a spark of drive, urging you to protect what you hold dear, while simultaneously inspiring you to reach for what you desire. As you settle deeper into this reflective state, it becomes clear that the biological mechanisms behind jealousy are as intricate as they are powerful. The release of cortisol can sometimes lead to a heightened state of alertness, where every small trigger is magnified into a significant emotional response. This heightened sensitivity is a remnant of our evolutionary past, a time when every emotion was finely tuned to protect survival and maintain social bonds. Yet, in today's world, this same mechanism can sometimes cause our emotions to become overactive, leading to a cycle where jealousy intensifies and, over time, may even contribute to chronic stress. Meanwhile, dopamine's role in the equation is equally fascinating. In moments when jealousy flares, dopamine helps to underline the significance of what is at stake, reinforcing the desire to preserve connections and achieve personal aspirations. It is this dual role of dopamine that can sometimes make jealousy feel almost ambivalent, both painful in its sting and energizing in its call to action. This delicate balance between stress hormones and reward signals is a testament to the complexity of our emotional architecture, where every feeling is a blend of biology and experience. Consider how, in the quiet hours before sleep, you might notice the subtle physical sensations that accompany a bout of jealousy. A racing heart, a tightening in the chest, or a rush of energy that seems to course through your veins. These sensations are not random. They are the visible manifestations of your brain's biochemical response. In essence, jealousy is not just a mental construct, but a full-bodied experience that involves every part of you. The brain's limbic system, which is responsible for emotional processing, interacts with the endocrine system to release these chemicals in a finely tuned response that can both protect and challenge you. This process is an enduring reminder of the intimate connection between body and mind, and it highlights how even the most seemingly abstract emotions are grounded in the concrete realities of our biological makeup. In the calm of the night, as you allow yourself to be fully present with these sensations, you might come to appreciate that the chemistry of jealousy is not inherently negative. Rather, it is a natural part of the human experience, an evolutionary tool that has helped shape our relationships and our survival over countless generations. The intricate dance of cortisol, dopamine, and other neurotransmitters is designed to alert you to the importance of your social bonds and personal values. When understood and managed with care, these biological responses can serve as guides, pointing you toward a deeper awareness of your needs and the actions necessary to nurture them. Through practices such as mindfulness, gentle self-reflection, and even open dialogue with those you trust, you have the ability to temper these chemical responses, transforming moments of intense jealousy into opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. As you continue to embrace the quiet and the introspection of the night, it becomes evident that the biology behind jealousy offers a window into the profound interconnectedness of all aspects of your being. The delicate interplay of chemicals and neural pathways is a reminder that every emotion, no matter how challenging, has its roots in a natural process that has evolved to support your well-being. By acknowledging the role that biology plays in shaping your experiences, you empower yourself with the knowledge that you are not merely at the mercy of your emotions, but rather that you can learn to navigate them with a sense of compassion and insight. This understanding opens the door to a more harmonious relationship with yourself, where the intensity of jealousy is met with a gentle curiosity and a willingness to learn from its lessons. In the soft glow of your reflective moments, let the biology behind jealousy remind you of the intricate beauty that lies within your own mind, a beauty born of evolution shaped by countless moments of connection, challenge, and growth. As you drift towards sleep, allow this knowledge to settle like a soothing balm, easing the tension of the day and paving the way for a peaceful, restorative rest. Jealousy in the animal kingdom. In the gentle twilight of nature's vast expanse, when the sounds of the wild merge into a soft lullaby, there emerges a fascinating glimpse into the realm of jealousy as observed in the animal kingdom, revealing that this complex emotion is not confined to human experience alone, but is a universal phenomenon deeply rooted in the struggle for connection and survival. As you imagine the delicate interactions among creatures, picture a pair of vibrant birds defending their shared nest against an intruding rival, or the subtle tension between two primates over a favored companion, each instance echoing a familiar human sentiment. In these quiet moments of observation, it becomes clear that jealousy in animals is a primal response to the fear of losing something precious, whether it be a partner, a territory, or social standing within a group. These behaviors, though sometimes subtle and at other times more overt, mirror the inner workings of our own emotional landscape, where the threat of loss triggers protective instincts that have evolved over millennia. The very presence of jealousy-like behaviors in species as diverse as birds, mammals, and even fish suggests that the drive to secure and protect valuable bonds is not a uniquely human trait, but a fundamental aspect of life that spans across the natural world. Just as human beings feel a pang of envy when confronted with the successes or attributes of others, Animals display their own version of this emotion through actions that range from playful displays of competition to more aggressive standoffs, each maneuver carefully calibrated by instinct and shaped by evolutionary pressures. Observing these creatures in their natural habitats, one cannot help but feel a profound connection to the raw, unfiltered emotions that govern their interactions. A reminder that, at our core, we are part of a larger tapestry of life, where survival and the desire for belonging unite us all. In the serene hush of the forest or the gentle rhythm of the savanna, the behaviors driven by jealousy serve not only as a means of maintaining social order, but also as subtle expressions of individuality and connection, revealing that the same forces that lead animals to guard their mates or territories also resonate within our human hearts, urging us to cherish our relationships and to confront the vulnerabilities that come with deep emotional bonds. This shared biological heritage suggests that jealousy is as natural as the instinct to seek warmth, to find food, or to shelter oneself against the elements. A reminder that our emotional lives are intricately woven into the fabric of existence. As you reflect on these observations, consider how the instinctive responses seen in animals provide a mirror for understanding our own experiences of jealousy, a potent blend of fear, protectiveness, and the innate desire to maintain a sense of identity within a community. When a dog growls as it senses the attention of its owner drifting toward another pet, or when a primate displays a protective posture as a rival approaches, there is an unspoken narrative at play, a narrative that speaks to the universal need to feel secure in one's place and to be recognized for one's unique role within a social group. In these quiet moments, the natural world offers us not only lessons in survival, but also insights into the delicate balance of emotions that define what it means to be alive. The jealousy observed in the animal kingdom becomes a gentle, yet powerful reminder that emotions are not merely human constructs, but are deeply embedded in the very mechanisms that have allowed life to flourish and adapt through countless generations. It invites you to look beyond the surface of these behaviors and to appreciate the intricate dance of nature, a dance that, with every step, reveals how the desire to hold on to something dear is a universal language, spoken in the rustling leaves, the chirping of birds, and the subtle shifts of body language among creatures great and small. As you drift further into a state of calm introspection, allow yourself to be enveloped by the realization that the same evolutionary forces that drive an animal to defend its territory also guide you to safeguard the relationships and values that define your own existence. In the quiet interplay between instinct and emotion, there lies a profound truth: that the capacity for jealousy, whether observed in the wild or experienced in the depths of your heart, is part of a shared legacy that binds all living beings, a legacy that teaches us the importance of connection, the inevitability of change, and the enduring strength found in the bonds that sustain us through life's ever-shifting landscape. Competition and envy. In the soft, reflective hours of the evening, when the mind gently drifts between memories and dreams, the concepts of competition and envy intertwine in a dance that can both inspire and undermine our growth. At its healthiest, competition acts as a subtle catalyst, urging us to refine our abilities and strive for excellence, much like the quiet, persistent pulse of a heartbeat that steadily drives us forward. It encourages us to measure our progress against personal benchmarks rather than the fleeting successes of others, igniting a spark of motivation that transforms our aspirations into tangible goals. In this gentle interplay, envy may emerge not as a corrosive force, but as a whisper of longing, a signal that directs our attention to areas of potential improvement and serves as a quiet reminder of the dreams we have yet to realize. Healthy competition inspires self-reflection, urging us to embrace our unique strengths while recognizing opportunities for growth, and it does so with a kind of measured grace that nurtures resilience and fosters a deeper sense of self-worth. However, there comes a delicate juncture when this dynamic shifts, and the drive to excel transforms into an incessant, unrelenting comparison that erodes our inner peace. At this point, envy begins to cloud our judgment, and competition, once a source of creative energy, becomes a breeding ground for bitterness and self-doubt. The very energy that once propelled us toward achievement can turn inward, manifesting as an internal struggle where every setback is magnified and every perceived failure becomes a mirror reflecting our deepest insecurities. In these moments, the boundaries between healthy rivalry and harmful competition blur, leaving us caught in a cycle of relentless self-scrutiny and unfulfilled desire. This transformation is subtle, often occurring slowly over time as the excitement of pursuing a goal gives way to the weight of constant comparison and the pressure to measure up. The quiet moments of self-reflection may reveal that the admiration for another's accomplishments has shifted into a fixation that diminishes our ability to appreciate our own journey. What was once a constructive force now imparts a sense of inadequacy, and the flame of ambition is replaced by a consuming fire of envy that saps our energy rather than fueling our progress. It is in this state of overcompetition that the joy of achievement is obscured by the relentless pursuit of an ever-elusive standard, a standard often defined not by our individual potential, but by the comparisons we make with those around us. The shift from inspiration to envy is marked by a deep-seated fear. The fear that if we do not measure up, we are somehow less valuable or capable. This fear, though hidden beneath layers of rational thought, can gradually infiltrate every aspect of our lives, affecting not only our professional pursuits but also our personal relationships and overall sense of well-being. As the gentle hum of the night encourages introspection, one might come to understand that the key to maintaining a healthy balance lies in cultivating self-compassion and focusing on personal growth rather than external validation. By embracing our own unique path and celebrating our individual achievements, we can transform the competitive spirit into one that is empowering rather than debilitating. Instead of allowing envy to erode our confidence, we can learn to channel it into a positive force that motivates us to explore our potential and strive for excellence on our own terms. This process requires a mindful approach, one that acknowledges the natural human tendency to compare while consciously choosing to prioritize self-acceptance and authentic progress. In this reflective state, competition can be reframed as a collaborative journey where the successes of others serve as inspiration rather than a measure of our own shortcomings. When we learn to view the achievements of our peers as beacons guiding us toward our own potential, we open ourselves to a more compassionate and inclusive vision of success, one that is not defined by the harsh metrics of comparison, but by the quiet, persistent pursuit of personal fulfillment. As you settle into the gentle embrace of the night, allow these insights to soothe the tension that may arise from comparing yourself to others, and instead, nurture the understanding that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory in its own right. The interplay of competition and envy is an inherent part of the human experience, and by recognizing its dual nature, you empower yourself to harness its energy in ways that uplift rather than diminish your spirit. In the end, the true measure of success is not found in the relentless tally of wins and losses, but in the quiet moments of self-discovery and growth that define the essence of who you are. Embrace the journey with patience and kindness, knowing that healthy competition, tempered by self-love and realistic expectations, can be the gentle push that transforms envy into a powerful ally in the pursuit of a richer, more meaningful life. The history of envy in culture. In the gentle currents of time, the emotion of envy has flowed through the veins of human civilization, shaping traditions, stories, and entire societies with its subtle yet enduring presence. As you drift into a reflective state, imagine ancient gatherings where tales of longing and rivalry were passed down through generations, each narrative imbued with lessons about the nature of desire and the complexities of the human heart. Envy, in its many forms, has been both a muse and a cautionary force, an element woven into the fabric of myths, literature, and art, serving as a mirror to the collective soul of humanity. Long before the age of modern introspection, cultures around the world recognized envy as a powerful catalyst for both creativity and conflict. In the whispered lore of ancient civilizations, envy was personified as a trickster or a jealous deity, whose actions could bring fortune or misfortune, urging communities to honor the delicate balance between admiration and the corrosive pull of resentment. These stories, rich with symbolism and moral undertones, taught that envy, when left unchecked, could unravel the bonds of kinship and community, yet when acknowledged with wisdom, it could inspire self-improvement and a deeper understanding of one's own worth. Consider the timeless fables and epic poems that have echoed through the ages, tales where heroes and villains are defined not solely by their noble deeds or misdeeds, but by the quiet battles they wage within themselves against the pangs of jealousy. In many of these narratives, envy is depicted as a double-edged sword, a force that can motivate individuals to strive for greatness, yet also lead them down paths of isolation and despair. The ancient Greeks, for example, explored the theme of envy in both their tragedies and comedies, warning that the seed of jealousy, if sown in the heart of a man, could lead to hubris and eventual downfall. Similarly, in Eastern traditions, the concept of envy is interwoven with ideas of balance and karma, where the energy of comparison is seen as a natural but challenging part of the human experience, one that must be transcended through mindfulness, compassion, and the pursuit of inner peace. As these cultural narratives spread and evolved, they began to shape societal norms and values, reinforcing the notion that envy, though a natural emotion, should be tempered with wisdom and self-reflection. Throughout history, art has played a significant role in capturing the essence of envy, transforming it from a mere emotion into a profound commentary on the human condition. Masterpieces in painting, sculpture, and literature have depicted scenes of quiet rivalry and unspoken desire, inviting viewers and readers to contemplate the often painful beauty of envy. In Renaissance art, for example, subtle expressions of jealousy can be found in the nuanced faces of figures rendered in soft light, a reminder that even the most refined souls are not immune to the shadows of comparison. These artistic interpretations, delicate and evocative, serve as both a celebration of human ambition and a somber warning of the internal discord that envy can bring. Over time, these cultural artifacts have helped to create a shared language of emotion, one that transcends borders and eras, uniting disparate communities in a collective understanding of the challenges and triumphs of the human heart. In the quiet narrative of cultural evolution, the history of envy also reveals itself in the rituals and traditions that have been observed by societies across the globe. Festivals, ceremonies, and even everyday social customs have been shaped by the interplay of admiration and rivalry. In some cultures, competitive displays, whether in dance, storytelling, or athletic pursuits, are celebrated as expressions of personal and communal excellence. These events are not solely about outshining one another, but rather about harnessing the energy of envy to inspire growth and unity. They remind us that the tension between desire and fulfillment is a vital force that, when channeled constructively, can drive communities toward collective progress and innovation. The lessons embedded in these traditions encourage a mindful approach to envy, urging individuals to see beyond the fleeting glimmer of comparison and to appreciate the intrinsic value of their own journey. As you settle deeper into a state of introspection, it becomes apparent that the influence of envy on culture is not solely a tale of caution, but also one of hope and transformation. The narratives and traditions that have evolved around this emotion remind us that while envy can create rifts and lead to isolation, it also holds the potential to catalyze personal and social evolution. In every story of rivalry and redemption, there is an underlying call to embrace one's own unique strengths and to seek fulfillment through self-discovery rather than by measuring oneself against others. This dual nature of envy, as both a source of conflict and a spark for creative innovation, has left an indelible mark on the tapestry of human history. It has taught us that the shadows of jealousy can be illuminated by the light of self-awareness, turning moments of comparison into opportunities for introspection and growth. In the soft cadence of cultural memory, the history of envy reminds us that this emotion is as old as civilization itself, a thread woven through the collective experience of humanity. It is a testament to our shared vulnerability, a mirror reflecting both the struggles and the aspirations that define us. As you reflect on these timeless narratives, let the legacy of envy and culture inspire a deeper understanding of your own emotions, a recognition that every feeling, even those that stir pain, holds the promise of transformation and the potential for a more compassionate connection with yourself and others. Why do we sometimes enjoy seeing others struggle? In the soft murmur of our innermost thoughts, there exists a curious response, a fleeting satisfaction that arises when we witness the struggles of others, a phenomenon that at first glance may seem puzzling and even unsettling. This reaction, often cloaked in the complexities of human nature, is rooted in a myriad of psychological mechanisms that have evolved over time. On one level, it is a reflection of the social comparisons we constantly make, a natural process where our minds gauge our own worth against the perceived shortcomings of others. This tendency, sometimes referred to as Schadenfreude, is not born out of malice but rather from an unconscious desire to reaffirm our own value in a world where insecurities often linger. In the quiet moments of self-reflection, as you settle into the gentle cadence of your evening thoughts, you may begin to see that this response is intertwined with the human need for self-assurance, a way for the mind to create a temporary sense of balance in the face of personal vulnerability. At its core, witnessing another's misfortune can momentarily alleviate the burden of our own challenges, offering a brief escape from the relentless pressures of comparison and expectation. This internal balancing act, however, is not an endorsement of cruelty or callousness. Rather, it is an invitation to understand the deeper layers of our emotional landscape. The pleasure derived from observing struggle is often magnified by a subconscious narrative that tells us, "I am not alone in my imperfections," or even, "I am better off in comparison." It is a reminder, albeit a harsh one, that the world is an intricate web of triumphs and failures, and that our own journey is marked by a mix of both. Yet, while this response may seem natural, it is not unchangeable. As you gently breathe in the stillness of the night, consider the transformative power of mindfulness, a practice that encourages you to observe your thoughts without judgment. By bringing a compassionate awareness to these fleeting moments of satisfaction, you create a space where empathy can flourish in place of comparison. In this reflective space, the initial impulse to derive pleasure from another's hardship begins to shift, revealing an opportunity to foster genuine compassion and understanding. One way to initiate this shift is by recognizing that every individual's struggle is part of a larger tapestry of human experience, a narrative woven with threads of pain, resilience, and ultimately, growth. When you pause to consider the complexity behind someone else's hardship, you may find that what initially appeared as a source of self-validation transforms into an awareness of shared vulnerability. This realization can gently dissolve the barriers of judgment, replacing them with a sense of kinship that recognizes our common humanity. In this way, the mindset that once found solace in the misfortunes of others gradually opens to the possibility of healing, both for yourself and for those around you. It is through such moments of reflection that you learn to see the struggle of others not as a mirror of your own worth, but as a call to extend kindness and support. Instead of allowing the fleeting pleasure of comparison to dictate your emotions, you can choose to cultivate a perspective that values connection over division. This process of transformation is neither immediate nor effortless. It requires the steady nurturing of self-awareness and an ongoing commitment to empathy. As you navigate the quiet hours of introspection, you might begin to ask yourself what it is that truly underlies this response, whether it stems from a place of unresolved insecurities or perhaps from past experiences where validation was found in external measures of success. With this gentle inquiry, you open a path towards understanding and ultimately reshaping your internal narrative. By embracing a mindset that honors vulnerability as a strength rather than a weakness, you empower yourself to replace judgment with curiosity and competition with collaboration. In doing so, you not only uplift your own spirit, but also contribute to a more compassionate, supportive environment in your relationships and communities. As the night deepens and the soft hum of your thoughts carries you towards a restful sleep, let this understanding serve as a reminder that every emotion, no matter how perplexing, holds the potential for transformation. The fleeting pleasure of witnessing another's struggle can be redirected into a commitment to self-growth and to the fostering of genuine connections. In this transformative space, you come to realize that shifting your mindset is not about denying natural impulses, but rather about channeling them towards a more empathetic and inclusive way of being. In the quiet sanctuary of your mind, where introspection meets the soft glow of compassion, you hold the power to transform a moment of comparison into an opportunity for healing, a gentle reminder that, ultimately, the measure of our humanity lies not in the misfortune of others, but in the depth of our capacity to care, to understand, and to grow together in the tapestry of life. How jealousy affects relationships. In the quiet space where feelings mingle with the soft echoes of our shared experiences, unchecked jealousy can slowly weave a web of misunderstanding and distance between those who once felt an unbreakable connection. Imagine a relationship where every glance, every word, and every silence is subtly tinted by the fear that what is cherished might be lost, and you begin to see how this pervasive emotion, if left unattended, transforms intimacy into a guarded exchange of suspicion and regret. In the gentle hours of introspection, you might recall moments when a simple misunderstanding escalated into a chasm of distrust, a situation where the warmth of companionship was gradually replaced by the cold uncertainty of who truly holds the heart of the other. Jealousy, at its core, often originates from an internal narrative of inadequacy, a voice that whispers of past wounds and unhealed insecurities, urging you to question the strength of your bonds. When these inner doubts grow, they can cast long shadows over even the most genuine relationships, making every shared moment feel precarious, as if it could be snatched away at any time. In the tender stillness of a quiet evening, you may find that these feelings morph into a cycle where suspicion feeds on itself, each glance and gesture becoming a potential threat, and every smile a possible deception. This cycle is insidious, because it often begins with small, almost imperceptible doubts that, if not met with understanding and communication, spiral into a web of emotional isolation. The beauty of a deep connection lies in its vulnerability, but when jealousy rears its head, that vulnerability becomes a battleground where trust is repeatedly questioned. Instead of allowing the relationship to breathe and flourish in its natural rhythm, unchecked jealousy causes both partners to retreat into emotional corners where thoughts and feelings are held tightly in fear of further hurt. The result is a gradual distancing, where words become cautious, and interactions are laced with an unspoken tension that neither party fully understands nor controls. Over time, this distance can grow into an almost tangible barrier, a reminder of what once was but now seems irretrievably altered. In these moments, the very essence of closeness is challenged, as each person becomes increasingly aware of the subtle shifts in behavior, the guarded expressions, and the reluctance to fully share one's inner world. This transformation is not sudden, but unfolds like a slow, inevitable tide, reshaping the landscape of the relationship until what was once a vibrant connection now feels muted and uncertain. The pain of such isolation is compounded by the knowledge that jealousy, though born from fear and insecurity, is rarely addressed openly. It festers quietly, nurtured by unspoken assumptions and misinterpretations, until the cumulative effect is a profound sense of alienation. Yet, amid this emotional storm, there remains the possibility of healing, if both individuals can find the courage to confront these difficult feelings with honesty and compassion. In the soft light of self-awareness, it becomes clear that addressing jealousy requires more than just surface-level reassurances. It calls for a deep exploration of the vulnerabilities that lie beneath. When partners open up about their fears and acknowledge the pain that jealousy brings, a new space for understanding and empathy can emerge. In this space, each person is invited to see the other not as a source of threat, but as a fellow traveler, on a journey that includes moments of doubt as well as hope. Through thoughtful conversation and shared vulnerability, the distance that jealousy creates can begin to shrink, replaced by renewed trust and a more authentic connection. Such a transformation is not immediate. It is a gentle process of relearning to see each other with fresh eyes, free from the distortions of past hurts. The journey toward healing often involves small acts of kindness, a willingness to forgive, and the courage to let go of the need for constant validation. In time, what once felt like an insurmountable barrier may dissolve into a deeper, more resilient bond where both partners feel secure in their love. The challenge lies in recognizing that jealousy, while it may arise naturally from our fears, does not have to dictate the terms of our relationships. Instead, by cultivating an environment of open communication and emotional safety, it is possible to transform jealousy from a destructive force into a signal, a call to address underlying insecurities and to strengthen the foundation of trust. As you reflect on these ideas in the quiet calm of your mind, remember that every relationship has its trials, and it is through facing these challenges together that the true strength of your connection is revealed. In this gentle space of introspection, the healing journey becomes an invitation to embrace vulnerability, to trust in the shared goodness that exists between you, and to nurture a relationship where understanding triumphs over suspicion. Even in moments of deep doubt, the possibility of renewed closeness remains, waiting for the quiet bravery of honest conversation and the soft acceptance of each other's imperfect, beautiful humanity. The link between self-worth and jealousy. In the gentle quiet of a reflective evening, it becomes clear that the feeling of jealousy often mirrors our inner struggles with self-worth, a delicate interplay where a strong sense of self can serve as a shield against the painful pangs of comparison. When you look deeply into your own heart, you may notice that the moments when jealousy surfaces are often those when you feel less secure, when the inner critic whispers doubts about your value. It is in these moments that building a robust sense of self becomes not only a remedy, but a profound act of self-care. Imagine a life where each day begins with a quiet affirmation of your worth, where the reflections you see in the mirror are not tainted by comparisons, but celebrated for their uniqueness. This inner strength does not come overnight. It is nurtured, slowly, through mindful practices and compassionate self-inquiry that help you recognize your inherent value, independent of external validation. The journey to building self-worth is much like tending to a garden that requires regular care, where every small act of self-kindness, every mindful breath, and every moment of honest reflection contributes to a blossoming sense of inner security. In those quiet moments before sleep, you can gently remind yourself that the successes and qualities of others do not diminish your own. Rather, they serve as different expressions of the same human potential. By learning to appreciate your own journey and recognizing that each person's path is distinct, you can begin to let go of the comparisons that often fuel jealousy. This transformation involves embracing practices that cultivate self-awareness, such as journaling, meditation, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts, to unearth the sources of your self-doubt and replace them with affirmations of your own strengths and accomplishments. As you work to fortify your self-worth, you gradually find that the harsh voice of envy softens, replaced by a growing confidence that radiates from within. With each moment of self-compassion, you learn to see your own imperfections not as flaws, but as integral parts of your unique tapestry, adding depth and character to your identity. This process invites you to step away from the narrow confines of comparison and instead celebrate the inherent diversity of human experience. In the serene stillness of a night spent in thoughtful contemplation, you may begin to understand that building self-worth is a lifelong journey, a continuous process of learning, unlearning, and relearning who you are at your core. It involves acknowledging that feelings of jealousy are not signs of weakness, but signals that invite you to explore the deeper layers of your emotional life, to understand where insecurity lies, and to gently work toward healing those wounds. In moments when the mind drifts towards the envy sparked by others' achievements, you can choose instead to focus on your own growth, setting small, meaningful goals that honor your personal values and aspirations. Over time, these efforts accumulate into a resilient sense of self that stands firm in the face of external pressures and transient comparisons. The cultivation of self-worth also thrives on connection, with supportive relationships, communities that appreciate you, and the nurturing of passions that ignite your inner light. When you surround yourself with people who see your value and encourage your journey, the echo of your own worth becomes stronger, quieting the doubts that fuel jealousy. This sense of belonging reinforces the understanding that your value is intrinsic and does not depend on external achievements or the fleeting measures of success seen in others. As you gently surrender to the peaceful rhythm of the night, let the idea take root that your worth is as vast as the universe itself, capable of withstanding the winds of envy and the storms of comparison. With each thoughtful breath, affirm that you are enough just as you are, a complex, evolving being with a story that deserves to be celebrated. In nurturing this inner sanctuary, you not only protect yourself from the corrosive effects of jealousy, but also create a space where you can truly flourish, guided by the quiet strength of self-love. Over time, as your self-worth grows, you will find that the urge to compare diminishes, replaced by a genuine interest in your own unfolding story, a narrative marked by resilience, creativity, and a deep, abiding sense of worth. In this way, the connection between self-worth and jealousy reveals itself as both a challenge and a profound opportunity, a chance to transform moments of insecurity into stepping stones towards a richer, more fulfilling life. The impact of childhood experiences. In the soft, quiet moments of reflection, the memories of early life whisper to us like gentle echoes, revealing how childhood experiences shape the way we navigate envy and comparison throughout our lives. From our first interactions with family and friends, the tender seeds of self-worth are planted, and the way we perceive our own value is influenced by the love, attention, and sometimes the neglect we encounter in those formative years. The warmth of parental affection and the security of supportive relationships can instill a profound sense of belonging, fostering resilience that helps to soften the sting of inevitable comparisons later in life. Yet, when early experiences are marred by favoritism, harsh criticism, or even subtle neglect, the impact can linger, setting the stage for a life in which every achievement and setback is measured against an internal yardstick that may be skewed by those early wounds. In the quiet recesses of memory, you might recall moments when a sibling's praise or a parent's disapproval carved out hidden benchmarks of success and failure, establishing patterns that echo in the choices you make today. Such experiences, though often unspoken, become part of the tapestry of your emotional life, influencing how you perceive the achievements of others and how you gauge your own worth. As you drift into a reflective state, consider how the lessons learned in childhood, both spoken and unspoken, shape the delicate balance between healthy aspiration and destructive envy, the longing to be recognized and valued, nurtured in moments of unconditional love can evolve into a resilient confidence that cushions the blows of comparison. Conversely, if the early years were filled with implicit or explicit messages of inadequacy, these seeds can grow into a persistent urge to measure oneself against the perceived successes of peers, casting long shadows of self-doubt and fostering an environment where envy takes root. The interplay between these experiences and later life is subtle and profound, reminding us that the foundations of our emotional responses are often laid long before we fully understand them. It is in those tender, formative moments that we first learn about the dynamics of giving and receiving love, about competition and collaboration, and about the delicate balance of self-esteem. These lessons become the silent architects of our inner world, guiding how we respond when faced with the achievements of others and how we celebrate our own triumphs. As you lie quietly and reflect on your own journey, you might realize that the comparisons you make today are echoes of conversations and interactions from long ago. A sibling's inadvertent remark, a parent's unintended preference, or even the subtle dynamics observed among peers during childhood games and shared secrets. Each of these moments, whether wrapped in the comfort of love or tinged with the bitterness of rivalry, contributes to the complex mosaic of your identity. Over time, as you accumulate experiences and mature, the raw impressions of childhood may soften, offering opportunities to reframe those early lessons in a more compassionate light. By gently revisiting the memories of your youth, you can begin to understand that the feelings of envy or the compulsion to compare are not immutable traits, but are responses rooted in the vulnerabilities of a developing self. In this understanding lies the potential for healing, a chance to nurture a more balanced, authentic sense of self-worth that is less dependent on external validation and more anchored in the inherent value you hold from within. Cultivating this awareness can be a quiet, transformative process, one that invites you to engage in mindful practices such as reflection, journaling, or even gentle conversations with those who knew you then and who see you now. Through these practices, you can begin to untangle the threads of past experiences from your present identity, recognizing that while your childhood may have set certain patterns in motion, you have the power to reshape the narrative. In the tender glow of self-awareness, the lingering impact of early comparisons can be reframed as opportunities for growth and self-compassion, rather than as chains that bind you to old insecurities. With each thoughtful breath and every mindful moment of self-reflection, you have the opportunity to honor the lessons of your past while gently releasing the burdens they may impose on your present. This journey is not one of immediate transformation, but a gradual, ongoing process of understanding and acceptance, a reminder that the echoes of childhood can serve as both a guide and a challenge, urging you to build a self that is resilient, kind, and ultimately free from the relentless pull of envy. As the night unfolds and your mind embraces the soft cadence of introspection, allow yourself to nurture the seeds of self-worth that were planted long ago, letting them grow into a sanctuary of inner peace, where comparisons lose their grip and your unique light is allowed to shine unencumbered by the shadows of the past. When envy leads to unhealthy decisions. In the quiet moments of self-reflection, as you allow your thoughts to wander through the corridors of memory and emotion, there arises a subtle yet potent reminder that envy, when left unchecked, can drive us toward choices that ultimately do more harm than good. This feeling, born from a deep-seated sense of longing and comparison, has the uncanny ability to cloud judgment and steer actions into realms that stray from our true values. Picture a scenario where the initial spark of envy begins as a fleeting thought, a quiet observation of another's success or happiness, that slowly evolves into a desire to reclaim a sense of balance or superiority. As this desire intensifies, it can compel us to make decisions that, rather than lifting us higher, leave us mired in regret and disconnection. In this reflective state, you might recall moments when envy nudged you toward actions that seemed, in the heat of the moment, like a way to level the playing field, only to later reveal their corrosive impact on your well-being and relationships. The choices made under the influence of envy are often impulsive, driven by a need to assert control or prove oneself in comparison to another. Yet they rarely address the root cause of the emotion, an underlying insecurity that whispers of inadequacy. Instead, these decisions can lead to a cascade of consequences, where temporary satisfaction is replaced by lingering remorse and the erosion of trust, both within oneself and among those who share our lives. The unhealthy decisions spurred by envy might manifest as sabotaging opportunities, undermining others' achievements, or even engaging in self-destructive behaviors in an attempt to mask the internal pain. Over time, these actions build a pattern that not only disrupts personal growth, but also fractures the delicate bonds of relationships, creating an environment where negativity and self-doubt flourish. The quiet realization that envy can push you to make choices that betray your true self is both humbling and enlightening. It invites a deeper inquiry into the nature of the emotion itself, a call to understand that the impulse to act out of envy is not a definitive measure of your worth, but rather a signal that prompts introspection and healing. In the gentle embrace of night, as the world outside recedes into soft shadows and the mind opens to the lessons of the day, you might begin to see that every decision made in the grip of envy carries with it a hidden cost, a cost paid in the currency of lost opportunities, fractured trust, and the gradual erosion of your inner peace. Yet, this awareness is not meant to condemn, but to guide you toward a more mindful approach. By acknowledging that envy can lead to unhealthy decisions, you are granted the power to pause before acting, to question whether the path you are about to take is truly reflective of your deepest values or merely a reaction to a transient feeling of inadequacy. This moment of pause, however brief, becomes a crucial turning point, an opportunity to redirect your energy toward choices that nurture growth, understanding, and authentic connection. In the reflective quiet of your inner world, you learn that healthy decision-making begins with self-compassion and a willingness to confront the vulnerabilities that envy exposes. It is a journey of recognizing that the urge to compare is not an indictment of your character, but a natural, albeit challenging aspect of the human experience. With this understanding, you can begin to replace actions driven by envy with responses that honor your worth and embrace the potential for transformation. Instead of allowing envy to dictate behavior that leads to regret, you can choose to view it as an invitation to develop resilience and self-awareness. This shift in perspective is gentle, requiring patience and a commitment to nurturing your inner strength so that each decision you make is guided by the light of self-acceptance rather than the dark shadow of comparison. As you reflect on the ripple effects of unhealthy decisions born from envy, you might find that the journey to change begins with small, intentional acts, practices that reinforce your sense of self and cultivate an environment of mutual respect and understanding. These acts might include mindful meditation, honest conversations with trusted friends, or simply allowing yourself the space to acknowledge and learn from past mistakes without judgment. In doing so, you gradually build a foundation of self-assurance that diminishes the power of envy to compel you toward choices that compromise your well-being. The path forward, illuminated by the soft glow of self-reflection, is one where each decision becomes a stepping stone toward a richer, more authentic life. A life where the impulses of envy are met not with reactive behavior, but with thoughtful, measured responses that honor both your inner truth and the integrity of your relationships. In the quiet hours of the night, as you settle into a space of calm and clarity, let this understanding be a gentle reminder that while envy may tempt you to stray from your true path, you hold within you the capacity to choose differently, to choose a course defined by compassion, wisdom, and an unwavering commitment to your own well-being. The media's influence on comparison. In the gentle glow of a late evening, as you settle into the quiet sanctuary of your thoughts, it becomes increasingly clear how the media shapes the way we view ourselves and our lives. Every day we are bombarded by advertisements, movies, and social media posts that showcase lifestyles of unparalleled perfection, where every detail, from lavish homes and designer clothes to exotic vacations and seemingly flawless bodies, is meticulously curated to evoke admiration and often a sense of inadequacy. This constant stream of idealized images invites us into a world that appears almost too good to be true, a realm where happiness and success are depicted as accessible commodities readily available for purchase or emulation. Yet, as you let these images wash over you in the quiet moments before sleep, a deeper understanding emerges about the subtle yet powerful impact these portrayals have on our inner landscape. The media, with its alluring narratives and visual extravagance, creates an environment where comparison becomes almost automatic, a gentle yet persistent reminder that our everyday experiences rarely measure up to these seemingly unattainable ideals. In this process, the lines between aspiration and expectation blur, leaving us to question the value of our own lives in the face of an ever-present, idealized standard. With every advertisement that promises a better life and every scene from a blockbuster film that celebrates opulence, a quiet dialogue unfolds within our minds, one that pits our reality against a constructed vision of perfection. This dialogue, though subtle, can erode self-esteem, instilling a lingering doubt about our own worth and achievements. The ease with which we compare ourselves to these media portrayals creates a fertile ground for envy and discontent, as we find ourselves longing for a version of life that is perpetually out of reach. Yet, within this understanding lies the opportunity for gentle transformation. As you drift into a state of reflective calm, consider how these external images are not definitive measures of success or happiness, but rather carefully crafted stories designed to capture attention and sell dreams. The media's portrayal of ideal lifestyles is often a montage of selective moments, an edited highlight reel that omits the quiet struggles, the imperfections, and the ordinary beauty of everyday life. Recognizing this can serve as a liberating reminder that your own journey is unique, and that true fulfillment is not measured by the gloss of a magazine cover or the sparkle of a commercial set, but by the authenticity of your lived experience. In the soft embrace of your thoughts, you might begin to see that the pressure to conform to these unrealistic standards is a modern challenge that calls for a compassionate, mindful response. By cultivating an awareness of the curated nature of media messages, you create a space where self-compassion can flourish, allowing you to celebrate the richness of your own story without the burden of constant comparison. It is in this reflective state that the realization dawns. The images that flood our screens are not mirrors reflecting our own potential, but windows into a carefully constructed fantasy. As you gently release the need to measure your worth against these fleeting illusions, you empower yourself to focus on the qualities that truly matter: your resilience, your kindness, and the quiet strength that comes from embracing your own imperfections. The process of disentangling your self-esteem from the glossy allure of media is a journey of mindful discernment, one that invites you to step back and consider what it truly means to live a fulfilling life. Instead of chasing the ephemeral promises of perfection, you might choose to nurture the everyday moments of connection, growth, and authenticity that often go unnoticed in the glare of commercial brilliance. In the tender hours of night, as the soft hum of the world outside fades into a distant lullaby, you can allow yourself to reflect on the ways in which media shapes perceptions, not as an indictment of your own value, but as a reminder of the importance of holding on to what is genuine. By choosing to honor your experiences and acknowledging that the idealized visions presented by media are merely one lens through which life can be viewed, you take a quiet stand against the pervasive pull of comparison. In doing so, you reclaim your space, finding solace in the realization that true beauty and success are defined not by the standards set by others, but by the unique, unrepeatable tapestry of your own life. As you drift into a peaceful rest, let this awareness gently settle into your heart, a reminder that the true measure of a life well lived is found in its authenticity, in its moments of quiet triumph, and in the simple joy of being unapologetically you. Can jealousy have positive effects? In the quiet spaces of introspection, where our innermost thoughts gently unfold in the soft light of understanding, it is possible to see that jealousy, often cast solely in a negative light, can sometimes serve as a catalyst for connection and personal growth. When we allow ourselves to step back and view this complex emotion with curiosity rather than judgment, we discover that jealousy can be transformed into a gentle reminder of what we truly value, be it in our relationships or in our own aspirations, and can even deepen our bonds with others. Imagine a moment when a flicker of jealousy arises not from a place of resentment, but as a signal that you care deeply about someone or something in your life. In these instances, the emotion is less about envy and more about a natural, instinctive response that highlights the importance of what is at stake. This recognition can lead you to invest more authentically in your relationships, communicate your needs more clearly, and foster an environment where mutual understanding flourishes. In the soft glow of evening reflections, you might recall times when a spark of jealousy urged you to become more attuned to your partner's feelings or to work on aspects of your own self-improvement. Rather than creating distance, this sensitive awareness can encourage open dialogue, leading to deeper intimacy and trust. It invites both parties to share their vulnerabilities and affirm their commitment to each other, thereby strengthening the foundation upon which their connection is built. On a personal level, jealousy can act as an internal compass, pointing you towards areas of your life that may require nurturing and growth. it might gently nudge you to recognize when you are neglecting your own needs or when you are comparing your journey to the curated snapshots of others, prompting a shift towards more self-compassionate practices. In this light, the energy of jealousy can be redirected into motivation, a drive to pursue personal passions, refine your skills, or explore new paths that resonate with your authentic self. This transformation does not occur overnight. It is a gradual process of learning to decode the signals embedded in your emotions. As you cultivate mindfulness and self-reflection, you begin to see that jealousy is not an adversary, but a teacher that can reveal your inner desires and areas where you seek growth. In moments when you feel the sting of comparison, consider it an invitation to pause and evaluate your personal aspirations. Perhaps it is a gentle call to rediscover hobbies long set aside, to invest time in building your self-esteem, or even to set new goals that align with your values. Over time, such practices can reframe jealousy from being a source of pain to becoming a motivational force, a reminder that your personal evolution is both valuable and attainable. Furthermore, when jealousy is acknowledged within the context of a close relationship, it can inspire acts of vulnerability that ultimately bridge the gap between individuals. By sharing these delicate feelings with a trusted partner or friend, you create space for empathy where both parties can explore the roots of their emotions together. In doing so, you may find that the conversation not only clarifies misunderstandings, but also deepens your connection as you learn to appreciate each other's unique struggles and strengths. This mutual recognition can transform jealousy from a divisive force into a shared journey of growth, where the focus shifts from rivalry to collaboration in overcoming personal challenges. It is in these tender moments of mutual understanding that you see the positive side of jealousy, not as an emotion that diminishes your worth, but as a signal that draws you closer to what truly matters. With time, the awareness of jealousy's dual nature can foster an environment where healthy competition and self-improvement coexist, rather than conflict with one another. This balanced perspective encourages you to celebrate both your achievements and those of others, viewing success as a collaborative tapestry rather than a zero-sum game. The journey towards embracing this constructive outlook on jealousy requires gentle self-compassion and the willingness to learn from each emotional experience. As you let the soft whispers of your heart guide you through moments of comparison, you can choose to see these emotions as opportunities for introspection, a chance to reevaluate your priorities and to commit to a path of continuous personal development. In the end, the potential for jealousy to have positive effects lies in its capacity to illuminate areas of longing and ambition, prompting you to build stronger, more authentic relationships and to strive towards a more fulfilling life. In the quiet moments before sleep, as you allow the day's lessons to settle in your mind, you might find solace in knowing that every emotion, even one as challenging as jealousy, carries within it the seeds of transformation and the promise of deeper connection. The physical effects of negative emotions. In the quiet sanctuary of your evening, as you settle into the soothing embrace of your thoughts, it becomes increasingly apparent that prolonged feelings of envy and other negative emotions can cast long shadows not only on our minds, but on our bodies as well, weaving a subtle yet profound tapestry of physical effects that often go unnoticed until their cumulative impact manifests in the form of stress and anxiety. Imagine the gentle rhythm of your breath gradually shifting as the mind contemplates the weight of lingering jealousy. Each anxious thought stirring a cascade of stress hormones like cortisol that over time can set your heart racing and your muscles tense, almost as if your body is echoing the turmoil within. In these reflective moments, you may begin to recognize that the persistent burden of envy can act like an uninvited guest, gradually wearing down your inner reserves of calm and resilience, transforming a fleeting emotion into a chronic state that seeps into your daily life. The body, in its intricate wisdom, responds to this internal discord by manifesting physical symptoms: restless nights, a pounding heart, and a sense of perpetual fatigue, as it struggles to reconcile the emotional distress with the need for equilibrium. These bodily responses serve as quiet reminders that our emotional well-being is intimately linked with our physical health, and that the longer we allow negativity to linger, the more we invite tension and anxiety to take root within us. As you drift deeper into this state of reflective awareness, you might notice how the gentle signals of your body, the slight tremor in your hands, the subtle tightening in your chest, even the restless pacing of your thoughts, are all echoes of the emotional storms that have quietly raged within, each one a testament to the toll that prolonged envy and comparison can exact on your well-being. In the soft glow of twilight, as the world outside slows to a peaceful lull, the connection between negative emotions and physical stress becomes a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between mind and body, urging you to consider how the habit of constantly measuring your worth against others might be sabotaging not only your self-esteem, but also your overall health. The insidious nature of such emotional turbulence often leads to a vicious cycle, where stress fuels further negative feelings, and these in turn magnify the physical symptoms of anxiety, creating a feedback loop that can be both exhausting and debilitating. In this quiet space of introspection, you are invited to gently explore these sensations without judgment, recognizing that each pang of tension or moment of fatigue is a call from within, a soft plea for compassion and self-care. By acknowledging these signals, you open the door to healing practices that can help break the cycle, such as mindful breathing, gentle movement, or simply allowing yourself moments of stillness where the mind can rest and the body can begin to unwind. These practices, though seemingly small, are powerful acts of reclaiming your well-being from the clutches of negativity, providing a gentle counterbalance to the stress that envy can breed. It is in these tender moments that you come to appreciate how deeply interconnected our emotional states are with the physical sensations that accompany them, a truth that underscores the importance of addressing not just the mind, but also the body when seeking to restore balance and inner peace. As you allow the day's tension to dissolve into the calm of the night, consider that each breath you take, each moment of quiet mindfulness, is an act of resistance against the corrosive effects of prolonged negativity, a way to reclaim the vitality that is your birthright. The journey to alleviating this burden is not about denying the reality of your feelings, but rather about embracing them with gentle curiosity and nurturing your body with the care it deserves. Over time, as you cultivate this harmonious interplay between mind and body, the sharp edges of envy may soften into opportunities for growth, where the physical manifestations of stress give way to a renewed sense of energy and clarity. In this space of quiet transformation, you discover that the physical effects of negative emotions are not permanent fixtures, but signals that, when listened to with compassion, can guide you toward a more balanced, healthier way of living. As the night deepens and your thoughts settle into a peaceful cadence, allow yourself to be comforted by the understanding that by addressing the emotional roots of stress and anxiety, you are also nurturing the physical vessel that carries you through life, a gentle ongoing process of healing that honors the intricate connection between what you feel and how you live. When frustration leads to negative behavior, in the quiet moments when the day's tensions begin to melt away into the calm of evening, you may find yourself reflecting on how powerful emotions like jealousy and envy can subtly steer our decision-making, often leading us toward behaviors that do not serve our well-being. These emotions, simmering beneath the surface, can transform frustration into impulsive actions that, while offering a temporary sense of relief or control, ultimately leave us grappling with regret and a lingering sense of disconnection. Imagine the slow buildup of internal pressure, a frustration fueled by comparisons and the nagging feeling of inadequacy that quietly nudges you toward choices made in haste. In these moments, the mind becomes clouded by the desire to correct an imbalance, and decisions are made not from a place of clarity or compassion, but from a raw urge to level the playing field. This process, often unnoticed in the rush of everyday life, gradually erodes our ability to engage thoughtfully with challenges, replacing careful reflection with reactive behavior. As you sit quietly and listen to your breath, you might observe how the sting of envy and the weight of jealousy create a fertile ground for negative behavior, where every decision is tinged with a hint of self-protection, or, conversely, a misguided attempt at vindication. Instead of empowering you to build bridges, these emotions can drive you to construct walls that isolate you from the supportive connections that nurture growth and understanding. In this reflective space, the choices made in the grip of frustration are like echoes of past wounds, each decision a ripple in the vast pond of your emotional landscape, affecting not just your own sense of self, but also the relationships you hold dear. Over time, the cumulative effect of such choices can lead to a cycle where negative behaviors reinforce feelings of inadequacy, further stoking the flames of envy and jealousy. The mind caught in this relentless loop begins to perceive every setback as a personal failure, intensifying the frustration that initially sparked the chain of reactive decisions. Yet, within this cycle lies the quiet opportunity for transformation. As you gently observe the interplay between your emotions and actions, you may begin to see that each moment of frustration is not merely a trigger for harmful behavior, but also a subtle signal from within, an invitation to pause, reflect, and realign with your deeper values. It is in these tender moments of self-awareness that the potential for change emerges. By recognizing the signs of mounting frustration, you allow yourself the chance to step back from impulsivity and to choose a more compassionate, measured response. Instead of letting jealousy or envy dictate your actions, you can begin to cultivate a space where mindful decision-making takes precedence, a space where the desire for immediate relief is tempered by the wisdom that comes with understanding the true source of your feelings. In this way, the very same emotions that once led to negative behaviors can be rechanneled into a positive force for growth, encouraging you to address underlying insecurities and to build resilience against future frustrations. This shift requires gentle patience and an openness to self-compassion, where each decision is seen as an opportunity to heal rather than to harm. In the quiet of the evening, as you allow your thoughts to wander freely, consider how moments of intense jealousy and envy are like transient storms that pass over the landscape of your mind. They may leave behind traces of disruption, yet they also offer a chance to re-establish calm and clarity. By learning to recognize the early signs of these emotional storms, you can practice strategies that foster calmness, whether through deep, mindful breathing, reflective journaling, or even a simple pause before reacting. Each of these practices serves as a gentle reminder that while emotions may surge and recede like tides, the power to choose your actions remains firmly within your grasp. Over time, this mindful approach can reshape the way you respond to frustration, turning what was once a trigger for negative behavior into a stepping stone toward greater emotional balance and healthier decision-making. In this reflective journey, the ability to transform impulsive reactions into thoughtful choices becomes not just a personal victory, but a quiet act of self-care, one that nurtures the mind, the heart, and the connections you hold dear. As the night deepens and your thoughts settle into a peaceful cadence, you may come to understand that every moment of frustration is also a moment of potential, a chance to reclaim your narrative and to choose responses that align with the person you aspire to be. Embrace this opportunity with kindness, knowing that the path to lasting change is paved with mindful decisions, each one a gentle affirmation of your capacity to grow beyond the shadows of envy and jealousy into a life marked by clarity, compassion, and authentic connection. The connection between envy and stress. In the soft twilight of reflection, when the mind drifts into the quiet spaces between day and night, the weight of constant comparison can settle in like an uninvited guest, gradually transforming the warmth of our inner landscape into a realm shadowed by stress. As you close your eyes and allow the world to recede into gentle silence, you might notice how each glance at another's success, every fleeting moment spent measuring your own journey against that of someone else, plants a seed of unease that, over time, blossoms into a persistent strain on both heart and mind. This relentless habit of comparison, so easily fueled by the curated images that fill our screens and the polished stories that echo around us, becomes a quiet but steady source of emotional tension that can lead to long-term stress. The process begins with a simple observation, a whisper of longing when you see a friend's accomplishment or a colleague's praise, that soon develops into a habitual pattern, where the mind continually weighs what is lacking against what is admired in others. Over time, this practice of constant evaluation wears down your inner resilience, as each comparison adds another layer to the emotional burden you carry. In the still moments of the evening, as you reflect on the subtle interplay between your thoughts and feelings, you may find that this persistent focus on external benchmarks not only distracts you from the beauty of your own journey, but also gradually erodes your sense of inner peace. The stress that arises from these comparisons is not sudden or dramatic. Rather, it is a slow accumulation, much like the gentle drip of water that over countless hours carves a path through stone. Each instance of feeling envious, each silent judgment cast upon your own worth, contributes to a larger picture of stress that, if left unchecked, can affect your physical well-being, manifesting as tension in your muscles, a racing heart, or even disrupted sleep patterns. Yet within this quiet truth lies the possibility of transformation, a gentle invitation to re-examine the ways in which you perceive yourself and the world around you. Imagine a moment when you pause to truly consider that the images and stories you compare yourself to are often mere fragments of a larger, more complex reality, edited and polished to capture attention rather than convey truth. In that pause, there exists the opportunity to reconnect with the quiet, authentic parts of your own life, to appreciate the unique qualities that define you, independent of external accolades. As the evening deepens and your thoughts meander, through memories and reflections, you begin to see that the stress born from envy is not an inherent part of who you are, but a habit of the mind, one that can be gently released through the practices of mindfulness and self-compassion. Each breath taken with awareness, every moment spent acknowledging your own achievements without comparison, serves as a small act of defiance against the relentless pressure to measure up to an ideal that is neither universal nor attainable. In this soft space of introspection, you realize that the act of comparing is a natural, if sometimes misguided, human tendency. Yet it need not dictate the rhythm of your emotional life. The key lies in recognizing the triggers that lead to envy and, with a kind and patient heart, learning to let them pass without clinging to the negative sensations they bring. This journey is not about denying the reality of your feelings, but rather about embracing them as part of your evolving self-awareness, allowing you to slowly dismantle the cycle of stress that constant comparison fosters. As you let go of the need to constantly gauge your value against that of others, you create room for a more authentic experience of contentment, one that is rooted in the appreciation of your own unique path and the quiet strength that comes from within. The connection between envy and stress, then, becomes not a chain that binds you, but a gentle reminder of the importance of nurturing your inner sanctuary, where your worth is defined by the simple truths of who you are, rather than by the fleeting measures of success that the world around you so often projects. In the hushed stillness of the night, as the pressures of comparison slowly fade into the background, you may find solace in the understanding that your journey is uniquely your own, and that true peace arises when you learn to honor the quiet, unfiltered moments of your life, without the need for constant validation from external sources. This realization, tender and profound, offers a pathway out of the maze of envy and toward a state of greater emotional balance, a state where stress gives way to calm, and the noise of comparison is replaced by the gentle hum of self-acceptance. Allow this awareness to cradle you in its comforting embrace, guiding you towards a future where each moment is lived with authenticity and where your inner light shines unburdened by the shadows of comparison, different types of jealousy. In the quiet moments when your mind gently drifts through the myriad of feelings that color your everyday life, you may begin to notice that jealousy is not a monolithic emotion, but rather a multifaceted experience that manifests in different arenas, emotional, social, and professional, all of which carry their own subtle nuances and unique challenges. In the realm of emotional jealousy, the inner world becomes a stage where personal insecurities and deep-seated fears play out in quiet, sometimes overwhelming ways. This form of jealousy often arises in intimate relationships, where the heart, becomes attuned to every whisper of perceived threat or neglect. It is a tender yet turbulent emotion that can make you question the stability of love and connection, as each small gesture or word is scrutinized for hidden meanings. In those moments, your inner dialogue might oscillate between longing for reassurance and the painful sting of comparison, as you grapple with the desire to feel uniquely cherished, while also fearing that your worth is measured by the attention and affection you receive. This internal struggle can leave you feeling both vulnerable and defensive, urging you to seek validation from within as much as from your partner. Meanwhile, social jealousy casts its net over the broader landscape of human interaction, where the constant stream of life's highlights, shared on social media, celebrated in gatherings, or simply observed in passing, creates an environment ripe for comparison. In this space, you might find that the successes, beauty, and seemingly effortless happiness of others trigger a reflective response that is both subtle and profound. Social jealousy is often less about direct interpersonal relationships and more about the external markers of success that society upholds, making you acutely aware of what you feel is lacking in your own life. It is an emotion that, when left unchecked, can erode self-esteem and foster a persistent sense of inadequacy, even though you know that the images and stories you compare yourself to are often carefully curated and not fully representative of reality. This form of jealousy invites you to reconsider the metrics by which you measure your own worth and to cultivate a sense of gratitude for the unique journey you are on, rather than getting caught in the relentless cycle of comparison. In the professional sphere, jealousy takes on yet another distinct form, one that is intricately linked to ambition, competition, and the drive for achievement. Here, the stakes are often tied to recognition, status, and the validation that comes from meeting or exceeding the benchmarks set by peers. Professional jealousy can be a double-edged sword. On one side, it can spur you to push harder, refine your skills, and strive for excellence, using the accomplishments of others as a source of inspiration. On the other, it can manifest as a quiet resentment or an undercurrent of insecurity that disrupts teamwork, creates barriers to collaboration, and even clouds your judgment when it comes to decision-making. This kind of jealousy is particularly insidious because it often masquerades as healthy ambition while quietly gnawing at your sense of self-worth, urging you to prove yourself in ways that may not always align with your authentic values. The interplay between these different types of jealousy is complex and deeply intertwined with the broader fabric of your life, where emotional, social, and professional realms rarely exist in isolation. For instance, feelings stirred by a personal relationship can spill over into how you perceive your social standing, or a professional setback may trigger emotional insecurities that resonate far beyond the workplace. In the soft, reflective light of introspection, you come to understand that each form of jealousy, while unique in its triggers and expressions, ultimately shares a common root: the human desire for connection, validation, and recognition of one's inherent worth. Recognizing these different manifestations can be the first step toward transforming jealousy from a source of distress into an opportunity for growth. By taking the time to explore the underlying causes of each type, whether it is the fear of abandonment in emotional jealousy, the pressure to conform in social jealousy, or the competitive drive in professional jealousy, you can begin to untangle the complex web of feelings and redirect that energy into more positive channels. This process might involve setting healthier boundaries in your relationships, practicing mindfulness to cultivate a more grounded sense of self, or even re-examining the values that drive your professional ambitions. In doing so, you allow yourself to experience a more integrated sense of self, one that is resilient in the face of external pressures and enriched by a deep appreciation for your own journey. Each time you pause to reflect on these experiences, you are invited to consider that the comparisons you make, though natural, need not dictate the course of your life. Instead, they can serve as gentle reminders to celebrate your unique path and to find strength in the qualities that set you apart. In this way, the various forms of jealousy become not only challenges to be managed, but also opportunities for cultivating a more compassionate and balanced view of yourself and the world around you. As you drift toward the calm of a peaceful night, let the understanding of these different types of jealousy inspire you to embrace a mindset of growth and self-acceptance, where every emotion, no matter how complex, is seen as a stepping stone toward a richer, more authentic life. How culture shapes our view of envy. In the quiet stillness of the night, as the mind wanders through memories and dreams, it becomes clear that culture plays a profound role in shaping how we perceive and experience envy. In some corners of the world, envy is seen as a problematic and corrosive emotion, a dark undercurrent that erodes the bonds of community and breeds discontent, while in other cultures it is embraced as a powerful motivator, a sign that sparks the desire to improve oneself and reach new heights of achievement. As you drift into a state of gentle introspection, consider how the narratives, traditions, and social norms that have been passed down through generations create a lens through which envy is interpreted, valued, or even celebrated. In societies where collective harmony is prized, envy is often viewed with suspicion and regarded as a threat to the social fabric. Its presence is seen as an interruption to the natural order of cooperation and mutual support. Here, stories, rituals, and teachings stress the importance of humility and self-restraint, encouraging individuals to overcome the negative impulses of envy through compassion and solidarity. This cultural stance can manifest in everyday practices such as community celebrations that emphasize shared success rather than individual competition, and in subtle social cues that discourage overt displays of jealousy by fostering an environment where gratitude and contentment are cultivated. On the other hand, in cultures that place a high premium on individual achievement and the pursuit of excellence, envy is sometimes interpreted as a natural and even necessary part of the human experience. In these settings, the feeling of envy may serve as a catalyst for personal growth, urging individuals to strive harder, learn from the successes of others, and set ambitious goals. This perspective is often reinforced by narratives that celebrate the competitive spirit, where envy is seen not as a sign of moral weakness, but as an indicator of potential and drive. Stories of legendary figures who harness their envy to propel themselves forward serve as both inspiration and a reminder that the desire to measure up to the achievements of others can be channeled into creative energy. As you reflect on these contrasting cultural interpretations, you begin to see that the same emotion can be painted in different hues, depending on the values and priorities of a society. The way envy is portrayed in literature, art, and everyday conversation provides a roadmap for how individuals are expected to handle it. In some cultures, the poetic lament of unfulfilled longing may serve as a cautionary tale, warning that envy can lead to isolation and regret if not managed with care. In others, it is woven into the tapestry of success stories and entrepreneurial spirit, where the drive to improve is celebrated as a virtue that leads to innovation and progress. This duality invites a deeper inquiry into the roots of envy itself. Is it an inevitable human response to the pressures of modern life? Or can it be transformed into a positive force that propels us toward growth? The answer, as you may come to realize in the gentle hours of quiet contemplation, is both complex and deeply personal. The cultural context in which you are raised, along with the values instilled in you from an early age, can significantly influence whether envy is experienced as a burden or a beacon. When we internalize the belief that our worth is defined solely by external measures of success, envy can quickly become a source of internal strife, leading to stress and dissatisfaction. Conversely, when we learn to appreciate our unique path, while using the achievements of others as gentle reminders of what is possible, envy can evolve into a constructive force, a signal that encourages us to reach beyond our current limitations without diminishing our self-worth. In this delicate interplay between cultural narratives and individual experience, there emerges an opportunity to redefine envy in ways that honor both our need for personal validation and our desire for social harmony. The transformative power of culture lies in its ability to shape our emotional responses by offering alternative perspectives and pathways for self-expression. Through mindful reflection and a willingness to question inherited beliefs, you can begin to dismantle the negative connotations attached to envy and reframe it as a natural, if challenging, aspect of the human condition. This process involves embracing the idea that every emotion, even one as complex as envy, holds within it the seeds of possibilities for personal evolution, for stronger interpersonal connections, and for a deeper understanding of what it means to live authentically. As you drift toward the calm of a restful night, let the cultural lenses that have influenced your views on envy gently dissolve into a broader awareness. Recognize that while some traditions may warn against the corrosive effects of envy, others celebrate it as a spark that ignites ambition and creativity. In this synthesis, you have the chance to choose your own path, a path that acknowledges the multifaceted nature of envy and uses its energy to fuel a journey of self-discovery, compassion, and growth. In the soft cadence of your thoughts, where cultural legacies meet personal insight, you find that envy need not be a force that divides or diminishes. Rather, it can be a mirror reflecting both the challenges and the infinite potential that reside within you, inviting you to create a life defined not by comparison, but by the authentic celebration of your own unique journey. Is jealousy a sign of strong connections? In the soft, reflective hours of the evening, as the mind drifts into a state of quiet introspection, a lingering question emerges. Can jealousy be considered a sign of strong connections, or is it merely a complex emotion that masks deeper insecurities? Many have argued that the feeling of jealousy, when experienced within intimate relationships, is a testament to the depth of care and attachment, suggesting that the fear of losing someone reflects the significance of that bond. Yet, as you settle into the gentle rhythm of your thoughts, you begin to see that the reality is far more nuanced than a simple equation of jealousy with love. Imagine the delicate interplay between trust and vulnerability. On one hand, a certain level of jealousy might indeed indicate that you deeply value the relationship, highlighting your sensitivity to potential loss and a longing to preserve the connection. On the other hand, if jealousy becomes overwhelming or constant, it may signal unresolved issues within the relationship or within yourself, where the fear of inadequacy overshadows genuine care. In these quiet moments, you might recall instances where the emotions stirred in your heart seemed to both affirm and challenge your sense of connection, reminding you that while a spark of jealousy might arise from a place of passion and attachment, it can also create fissures if not met with understanding and open communication. The gentle murmur of jealousy, when it appears, may invite you to examine the roots of your emotions. Is it driven by a true concern for the well-being of your relationship, or is it echoing past hurts and insecurities that have yet to heal? This introspection reveals that strong connections are not measured solely by the intensity of jealousy, but by the capacity to acknowledge it and use it as a gateway to deeper self-awareness and mutual trust. In some cultural narratives, jealousy has been romantically linked with love, painted as the green-eyed monster that underscores the significance of a bond. However, such interpretations often overlook the potential for jealousy to lead to controlling behaviors, mistrust, and emotional isolation if left unchecked. As you let your thoughts wander in the quiet of the night, you might consider that true strength in a relationship is found not in the raw intensity of jealous feelings, but in the courage to confront them with empathy and honesty. It is in the gentle sharing of vulnerabilities, the willingness to discuss the fears that lie beneath the surface, that the real test of connection is met. When both partners create a safe space for open dialogue, jealousy can transform from a destructive force into a catalyst for personal growth and deeper understanding of each other's needs. This process requires a delicate balance, recognizing that a hint of jealousy may signal the importance of the relationship, while also discerning when it tips into unhealthy territory. The ability to hold both the warmth of connection and the discomfort of jealousy in mindful awareness is what ultimately nurtures a resilient bond. In these reflective moments, the truth may reveal itself that jealousy is not an unequivocal sign of care, but rather a complex emotion that, if interpreted with compassion, can guide you towards strengthening your relationship. It prompts you, to ask whether your fears are grounded in the present reality of your connection, or if they are echoes of previous experiences that still linger in your heart. As you gently navigate these inner landscapes, you come to appreciate that strong connections are built on a foundation of trust, respect, and the shared journey of growth, where both partners learn to honor each other's individuality and the collective strength of their union. Rather than clinging to jealousy as proof of love, you may find solace in the realization that the healthiest relationships are those where both the light and the shadows are acknowledged, where moments of insecurity are met with reassurance and kindness. This understanding allows you to see that while jealousy might sometimes appear as a natural byproduct of deep care, it is not the measure of connection, but a signal that invites deeper exploration and healing. As the night deepens and your thoughts soften into a gentle cadence, you realize that embracing vulnerability is the true hallmark of a robust relationship. It is the willingness to admit your fears, to share your insecurities, and to allow your partner the space to offer support and understanding, which together transform the potential pitfalls of jealousy into opportunities for growth. In this unfolding journey, the presence of jealousy becomes less about controlling or diminishing the other person, and more about understanding your own emotional landscape and the ways in which you can foster a sense of security from within. In the quiet solitude before sleep, let these reflections serve as a gentle reminder that the most enduring connections are those in which both partners are committed to nurturing trust, practicing empathy, and continuously evolving together. Rather than seeing jealousy as a definitive marker of love or care, you learn to view it as one of many facets of the human experience, a complex emotion that, when met with awareness and open communication, can ultimately contribute to the deepening of your bond and the enrichment of your shared life. How to manage feelings of envy. In the quiet moments when the world slows down and the mind finds its gentle rhythm, managing feelings of envy becomes an opportunity for personal growth and transformation. When you notice the first stirrings of envy, a fleeting comparison or a small pang of longing, allow yourself to pause and breathe deeply, recognizing that these feelings are natural signals from within, inviting you to explore deeper aspects of your inner world. One practical step is to create a daily practice of mindfulness, where you sit quietly and observe your thoughts without judgment. In this state of calm, you learn to acknowledge envy as it arises, viewing it not as a defect, but as a teacher that points to areas in your life where you might be seeking something more. By observing your emotions like passing clouds, you begin to detach from the intensity of envy, allowing you to shift your focus inward and appreciate your own unique journey. It can be helpful to keep a journal where you write about moments when envy appears, detailing what triggered the feeling and how it affected you. Over time, this reflective practice may reveal patterns and underlying insecurities, providing you with the insight needed to gently reframe your perspective. Instead of comparing your own path to the curated snapshots of others' lives, try to focus on your personal achievements and the quiet progress you make each day. Celebrate small victories, whether it's mastering a new skill, spending quality time with loved ones, or simply taking time for self-care, as these moments remind you that your worth is not measured by external benchmarks, but by the inner strength and resilience you cultivate over time. Another important step is to practice gratitude. When envy arises, consciously shift your attention to what you appreciate about your own life. This could be the support of a close friend, the beauty of a sunrise, or the sense of accomplishment from a day's work. Gratitude has a way of softening harsh comparisons, filling your heart with warmth and reminding you that abundance is often found in the quiet, everyday moments. In addition to mindfulness and gratitude, engaging in activities that nurture your well-being can help diminish the power of envy. This might mean setting aside time for hobbies that bring you joy, connecting with nature through a walk or meditation, or simply dedicating moments to relax and recharge. As you invest in these practices, you begin to build a sense of self that is rooted in authenticity and self-love, making it easier to resist the pull of comparison. It is also essential to foster supportive relationships where honest communication is valued. Sharing your feelings with a trusted friend or mentor can provide perspective and comfort, allowing you to see that envy, though painful, is a shared human experience rather than an isolating burden. Often, hearing that others have faced similar emotions helps to demystify the feeling, transforming it from a source of shame into a catalyst for connection and understanding. When you engage in conversations about personal growth and vulnerability, you invite the possibility of collective healing, creating an environment where mutual support replaces the divisiveness of envy. Additionally, setting realistic goals can be a powerful antidote to envy. Instead of striving to mirror the successes of others, focus on defining what success means for you. This personal blueprint for achievement allows you to chart a course that is uniquely your own, free from the pressure of external validation. As you set and pursue your own goals, you gradually shift your mindset from one of comparison to one of self-improvement, where each step forward becomes a testament to your resilience and determination. Alongside these practices, cultivating self-compassion is perhaps the most transformative tool in managing envy. It is important to remind yourself that every emotion, including envy, is part of the human experience, and that you deserve kindness even when you fall short of your own expectations. Treat yourself with the same warmth and understanding that you would extend to a dear friend, recognizing that the path to personal growth is not a linear journey, but one filled with both challenges and triumphs. As you continue to nurture a compassionate view of yourself, you may find that the grip of envy loosens, replaced by a deeper, more secure sense of self-worth that is less reliant on external comparisons. In the gentle cadence of your evening reflections, allow the awareness of your own value to permeate every thought, and know that by managing envy with mindfulness, gratitude, and self-compassion, you are creating a foundation for a more fulfilling, authentic life. Over time, these practices not only help reduce the intensity of negative emotions, but also transform them into signals that guide you towards greater self-awareness and personal empowerment. As you drift into a peaceful rest, let these reflections be a reminder that the journey of managing envy is an ongoing process, a quiet, patient cultivation of the inner garden where your true self blossoms, nurtured by the soft light of acceptance and the gentle strength of your own unique spirit. Can people change their reactions to jealousy? In the quiet flow of evening reflection, as the mind begins to settle and the day's hustle recedes into soft echoes, one may wonder whether the habitual reactions to jealousy can be transformed into something more positive, a gentle shift in mindset that opens the door to inner peace and genuine self-growth. It is a common human experience to feel the pangs of jealousy, that sudden stir of comparison that leaves us questioning our own worth when faced with the successes or affections of others. Yet, in the stillness of a mindful moment, there is an opportunity to reframe these reactions from destructive impulses into pathways for personal evolution. By taking a step back and examining the triggers behind our jealousy, we gradually learn that our initial emotional response is not fixed or unchangeable, but rather a signal from our inner self that invites deeper exploration. This introspection can reveal that the sting of jealousy often masks underlying insecurities and unmet needs, and it is in acknowledging these feelings with gentle curiosity that the foundation for transformation is laid. Imagine sitting in a serene space, letting your breath guide you through each passing thought, and recognizing that every flicker of jealousy is not a verdict on your character, but a call to address parts of yourself that may have long been neglected. Over time, as you cultivate awareness through practices such as mindfulness, meditation, or reflective journaling, you begin to see that the sharp edges of jealousy can be softened by self-compassion. Instead of reacting impulsively, you learn to pause, observe, and even smile at the sensation, as if it were a delicate messenger bringing you insights about your inner world. This shift in perspective is akin to watching clouds pass across a vast, open sky. While the clouds may momentarily obscure the sunlight, they do not diminish the inherent brightness that lies within. Similarly, by embracing the transient nature of jealousy and understanding it as a natural part of your emotional tapestry, you can gradually rewire your reactions to be more balanced and constructive. With time, the energy that once fueled comparison and self-doubt can be redirected into a commitment to personal growth and gratitude. Rather than allowing jealousy to cast a shadow over your sense of self, you may start to see it as an invitation to celebrate your unique strengths and achievements, acknowledging that the journey of self-improvement is deeply personal and cannot be measured against the curated lives of others. It is through this gentle realignment that the habitual patterns of negative reaction begin to dissolve, replaced by a resilient optimism that nurtures both your inner life and your relationships with those around you. This transformation is not instantaneous. It requires patience, practice, and a willingness to forgive oneself for past moments of harsh judgment. By consistently choosing to view jealousy as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block, you create a new narrative, one in which your worth is defined by the quiet strength of self-acceptance and the courage to embrace vulnerability. In this new light, each experience of jealousy becomes a chance to ask yourself, what is it that I truly desire? What part of me is calling out for recognition and care? Through honest reflection and gentle inquiry, you may discover that the need for external validation can be met by cultivating a deep and abiding trust in your own abilities and values. As these realizations take root, you begin to reframe your internal dialogue, replacing harsh criticisms with affirmations of your intrinsic worth. This process is enhanced by the nurturing support of relationships where open communication and empathy are valued. Sharing your experiences with trusted friends or mentors can provide both comfort and perspective, reinforcing the belief that you are not alone in this journey. The act of connecting with others who have faced similar challenges not only normalizes the experience of jealousy but also offers a collective wisdom that guides you toward more positive responses. With each mindful breath, you acknowledge that changing your reactions to jealousy is a gradual process, a dance between accepting your human imperfections and daring to rise above them with a spirit of curiosity and self-love. In the stillness of the night, as you let your thoughts settle like soft whispers in a quiet room, you come to understand that while jealousy may at times feel overwhelming, it is also a powerful catalyst for growth if met with compassion rather than resistance. Every moment of envy, every fleeting spark of comparison, holds the potential to be transformed into an opportunity for self-discovery, a chance to unearth hidden talents and passions that lie dormant beneath the surface. By choosing to respond with kindness to yourself, you empower the process of healing, allowing the wounds of past insecurities to mend gradually. This healing, nurtured by consistent practices of mindfulness and gratitude, opens the door to a life where your reactions are guided not by the fear of inadequacy, but by the assurance of your own unique beauty. In time, you may find that what once triggered a storm of negative emotions now gently reminds you of the importance of staying true to your inner voice, a voice that speaks of possibility, resilience, and the quiet power of growth. As you drift toward a peaceful slumber, let this understanding settle in your heart like a soft, reassuring embrace, reminding you that while jealousy is an inevitable part of the human experience, it does not have to define you. Instead, by embracing a mindful, compassionate approach, you can transform your reaction to jealousy into a journey of self-improvement and renewed connection with the world around you, a gentle evolution toward a life filled with acceptance, joy, and the quiet assurance that every emotion, no matter how challenging, is a stepping stone on the path to a deeper, more authentic self. The power of gratitude in overcoming envy. In the quiet hours when the day's clamor finally subsides and you find yourself alone with your thoughts, there emerges a profound truth. Gratitude holds a transformative power that can gently dissolve the sting of envy and reshape the way you perceive success. When you pause to acknowledge the small blessings in your life, a kind word from a friend, the beauty of a sunrise, the satisfaction of a task completed with care, you create a reservoir of positive energy that begins to counterbalance the feelings of inadequacy often sparked by comparing yourself to others. In these reflective moments, gratitude works like a soothing balm, softening the harsh edges of envy and inviting you to see that success is not a finite resource, but a multifaceted tapestry woven from both your achievements and the everyday joys that make life rich and meaningful. It is as if each thankful thought creates a gentle ripple across your inner landscape, gradually erasing the obsessive need to measure your worth against the curated highlights of someone else's journey. Instead of fixating on what you might lack, you begin to recognize the abundance that already surrounds you, learning that every moment of gratitude is an affirmation of your unique path and a reminder that true success is measured not by external benchmarks, but by the depth of your inner satisfaction and the quality of your relationships. Over time, as you cultivate a habit of gratitude, whether through mindful meditation, journaling, or simply taking a few moments each day to reflect on the positive aspects of your life, you may notice a subtle shift in perspective. The comparison that once fueled envy is replaced by a quiet contentment that grows with each expression of thankfulness. This transformative process is gentle and gradual, inviting you to reframe your narrative from one of scarcity and competition to one of connection and personal growth. In this state, the accomplishments of others no longer cast a shadow over your own light. Instead, they serve as inspiration, encouraging you to embrace your own journey with humility and enthusiasm. Gratitude opens your heart to the understanding that every experience, whether joyous or challenging, contributes to the rich mosaic of who you are, and that your individual success is a culmination of these diverse moments, each imbued with its own meaning. The practice of gratitude encourages you to look inward, to appreciate your own efforts and resilience, and to recognize that envy often arises when we lose sight of our own progress in the constant pursuit of external validation. As you learn to celebrate even the smallest victories in your life, you build a foundation of self-worth that is less susceptible to the fluctuations of comparison. This inner strength, nurtured by the steady practice of thankfulness, empowers you to navigate the complexities of relationships and achievements with greater equanimity and grace. In the soft glow of your introspection, you may come to see that gratitude not only transforms your view of success, but also reshapes your interactions with the world around you. It fosters an attitude of openness and generosity, allowing you to share in the joy of others without diminishing your own sense of fulfillment. When you express gratitude, you acknowledge that every person's success contributes to a collective tapestry of inspiration and possibility, creating an environment where competition gives way to mutual support and where the energy of envy is transmuted into collaborative growth. In this way, gratitude acts as a bridge between your inner world and the external influences that once sparked feelings of inadequacy, guiding you toward a more balanced and appreciative perspective. It is a reminder that while the world may often highlight perfection and success through polished images and triumphant stories, the real measure of a meaningful life lies in the quiet moments of reflection and the deep connections you nurture along the way. As you allow gratitude to infuse your daily life, you gradually find that the weight of envy begins to lift, replaced by a lighter, more expansive sense of possibility. Each day becomes an opportunity to recognize not only what you have achieved, but also the simple, unadorned beauty of being present, of living with intention, and of finding joy in the ordinary. This shift in perspective is transformative, fostering resilience in the face of life's inevitable challenges and empowering you to embrace your journey with renewed purpose. In the tranquil solitude of the night, when your mind is free to wander and explore the recesses of your heart, the practice of gratitude becomes a cherished companion, a soft whisper that reminds you that your worth is inherent, not determined by the fleeting standards of comparison. It offers a pathway to a more authentic life, one where you celebrate the richness of your experiences and honor the unique contributions you bring to the tapestry of existence. In the end, the power of gratitude lies in its ability to transform envy into appreciation, to turn the gaze inward and find satisfaction in your own unfolding story, and to reveal that success is not a destination defined by external achievements, but a journey enriched by every moment of thankfulness and every quiet acknowledgement of the beauty that resides within you.